Good luck with the stream, man. Alright, Ahmed, sorry. I miss part 2 and 3, but I might as well see part 4. There's... I don't know. I guess there's pacing. I don't know, it's all mishmash to me, really, looking back. But then again, I'm not actively playing it. This is like a once a week thing, so it is what it is. By the way, do a poll for next 3 weeks route because you loudly said you don't like Max. Everyone's gonna vote for Max. Probably. Probably. Apparently, Neela is the most popular one, next to the MGTOW one where you end up with no one. Apparently that was the most popular route. Hey, Mandy. I created a AI dungeon with Bianca. Okay. I wonder how that's gonna go. Neela sweep, yeah. Well, I mean, I chose Neela all on my own, so I guess it doesn't help that I go with the grain on this one. Well, I mean, either you get a midget, someone who's completely down bad, or old lady, like really old lady. I mean, I'm no Squiscar, sorry. Hag maxing. Well, I mean, there's good hags and there's bad looking hags. I mean, considering my age, people would consider, what is it, Miss Ellen as a hag, because she's like, she's my generation, yet she's like in her mid-30s. People would call her, people would definitely call her a hag nowadays. That, or what is it, Principal Scalar, or Sophia, U-boat. What do you mean U-boat? U-Haul? Anyways, we're like almost over a minute from waiting time, so I better just get to the game. Undersea boat, World War II. Oh, that hasn't happened yet. Not in this timeline. All right. I assume this is where we left off. All right, we're still in the storm. Okay. Oof. Anything besides dancing towards tomorrow? I guess so. Hey, Dr. Coconut. Since the storm started, this place is almost as empty as a ghost town after a parade. An unfamiliar smell invades my nostrils as I make my way to the kitchen. And there he is, as usual, with the same apron and unreadable face. Hey, Giovannido. Morning, sir. The smell wafts through the air, an earthy, almost pungent aroma that tickles my nostrils in a way I can't quite place. It's unfamiliar and mixes something savory and musky, and though it's intriguing, it makes my stomach flutter with uncertainty. What's that smell? Probably the mushrooms. Mushrooms for breakfast? Yeah, mushroom pizza. Mushrooms on a pizza? Just shut up and enjoy it. The chef places the dish in front of me with a flourish, a slice of just out-of-the-oven pizza gleaming under the kitchen oil lamps. This is going to make me hungry, and I skipped eating. I didn't eat a dinner, so I'm hoping I don't get the hunger shakes. The dialogue ain't going to help. I peer at it, trying to discern the layers of mushroom and herbs hidden beneath the surface. The smell is even more pronounced up close, a blend of earthiness and something almost sweet that I can't quite pin down. I give the chef a hesitant smile as he watches me with an encouraging nod. Without wasting any more of the chef's time, I take my portion of breakfast, followed by sitting at the table. I poke at it with my fork, the mushrooms giving way to a steaming, almost creamy interior. The smell seems to hover around me, persistent and enigmatic. The smell is something I don't think I will possibly pass anytime soon. Finally, I gather up my courage and take a small, hesitant bite. The taste is a disorienting blend of earthy mushrooms and cheese, but the flavor is so overpowering that it almost turns my stomach. I force myself to chew, hoping it will grow on me, but instead, the aftertaste lingers unpleasantly, leaving me with a distinct sense of regret. Yeah, I don't think I can eat this. Good morning, young man. Oh, speaking of hag-maxing, I turn around to see Lady Victoria getting inside the saloon, refined as always. I wonder how much time she dedicates to comb her hair every morning. Good morning, madam. Pizza, huh? I guess so. That brings me memories of my younger days. To be honest, I don't think I can eat it. Why? I don't know, I'm not a fan of mushrooms. That's a shame. For where I come from, mushrooms used to be quite common. I take a cautious bite of the mushroom pizza, the earthy taste immediately overwhelming my senses. It's as if someone stuffed a handful of dirt into my mouth and called it a gourmet meal. My face scrunches up involuntarily, and I glance at Lady Victoria, who's watching me with a hopeful smile. Yeah, I don't think I can possibly finish this. A shame indeed. I set my fork down with a clink, the half-eaten pizza remaining untouched on my plate. The flavor isn't growing on me, no matter how hard I try to convince myself otherwise. As if on cue, the chef approaches, balancing another serving of pizza on a polished silver platter. He beams with pride as he sets it down in front of Lady Victoria. Good morning, Signora. Ah, sure, Sir Chef, another morning, another delightful meal made by you. You flatter me, doing what I can with what I have. Nonsense, all the dishes you have prepared so far should be the textbook definitions of perfection. The one who should receive all the compliments is my Nana. I'm just cooking the way she taught me. I hope you can enjoy your meal. Or hope you can enjoy. Yeah, someone's not enjoying it. Lady Victoria's smile widens as she nods in thanks, and she takes a bite with evident delight. I watch her savor the pizza, feeling a pang of guilt for not sharing her appreciation. The chef's hopeful glance shifts to me, and I offer a weak smile. Boy, why aren't you eating? I am. I'm just taking my time. I force a strained smile, trying to disguise my distaste. But the chef's expression darkens, his eyes narrowing as he studies me. His face flushes with rarely contained anger, and his hands grip the edge of the table. Taking your time, you say? He repeats, his voice now cold and clipped. The awkward silence stretches, and Lady Victoria glances between us, her expression shifting from confusion to concern. Sir Chef, can't you see that this young man here doesn't like mushrooms? Is that so? The chef's eyes fulminate me on the spot, his eyes penetrating the deep of my core, making the little to no food I ate trying to escape my body. It's not a reflection on your skills. I have to say that if I could, I'd definitely tell all of my friends about your skills, but it's kind of hard to do that now that I'm in a ship. I see. I understand your disappointment, but it's important to appreciate that not everyone has the same palate. Your dish is truly well crafted. It reminds me of the ones my mother used to prepare back in my young days. The chef's anger simmers beneath the surface, but he takes a deep breath, visibly struggling to maintain his composure. I'm sorry, Giovanni. Would you like me to prepare something else for you? I don't think I can be picky now. Anything would be good. The next pizza that comes out of the oven will be without mushrooms. Thanks, sir. You're telling me he couldn't pick them off? Dude's so autistic, he couldn't pick off the mushrooms, man. Oh. That's like next level autism, man. Same. Is that towards dancing towards tomorrow? With that, he disappears as he enters the kitchen. Dude was just totally fucking mogged by mushrooms, man. Dude couldn't handle it. Couldn't even touch them. You should really value food, young man. There's plenty of food, I just don't like mushrooms. You have never experienced hunger, have you? Her words pierced through my heart like a poisoned dagger. I always had food. There wasn't a single day in my life where I hadn't had 3 meals. No. There's an awkward silence between us as she eats. Wait. Want to know how I met my husband? Sure thing. Victoria eats another bite of her pizza slice and then sits straightening her back. I wasn't a refined lady when I was younger. In fact, I was a mess. That's hard to believe. Manners, young man. Sorry. No, I was wild and reckless back then. I was at this bustling market, full of vibrant colors and chaos. I was laughing, spinning around, and I'm pretty sure I knocked over a fruit stand. Sounds like quite the scene. It was, and that was when I saw him. He was standing there dressed in the most immaculate, expensive clothes, tailored suit, polished shoes, the works. He looked like he just stepped out of a high society gala. So what you're saying is you were a gold digger. You were a gold digger back then. And what did he do? He saw me covered in fruit and flour, and instead of offering to help, he just stood there, watching me with a smirk. Finally, he sauntered over, leaned in, and said, I must commend you on your unique approach to market shopping. It's not every day you see someone turn a fruit stand into a performance piece. And that's quite charming. Oh, don't need to hide it, dear. He was harsh with words sometimes. Anyway, instead of helping me, he just walked away. Wow. But here's the twist. Later that day, I saw him at the same market, and wouldn't you know it, he slipped on a stray banana peel and landed right into a pile of vegetables. He was covered in everything from carrots to tomatoes, and there was no one around to help him. Victoria smiles while covering her mouth in the most refined way possible, almost exaggerating. I couldn't help but take a page out of his book. I walked over, and with the same amused smile he'd given me, I said, Looks like you've made a lasting impression, too. And what did he say? Victoria's smile softened into a fond gaze. That's a blush. It almost looks like weird red-tinted glasses if you blur your eyes. I think it's a little too thick. He stared at me for a moment, then burst out laughing, despite his embarrassment. We ended up sharing scones, and from that day on, we met at the market every week. It became our little tradition, and before long we were inseparable. Her eyes drift into the distance, clearly savoring the memory of their whimsical beginnings. Victoria's smile lingers as she finishes her story, but her expression turns thoughtful. But once we were serious about our future together, I had to face another challenge. My mother-in-law. How is that a challenge? Victoria's eyes take on a distant, reflective quality. She was a lady of high society, all elegance and property. Propriety. Yeah, she is property back then. I knew from the start that if I had wanted her approval, I had to learn to fit into her world. But it wasn't just about manners and speech. She had her own reservations. Oh. Victoria's gaze turns a shade wistful. She was skeptical of our relationship from the start, not just because of my background, but because of who I am. Being a dragon and all. Oh no, a mofa! Uh-oh. Victim of a mofa. Being a dragon and all, especially in a world where my husband was human, made things more complicated. She had concerns about our differences and how our worlds might clash. My cabbages. Mushrooms on a pizza is amazing. I don't know what he is complaining about. Well, they must have been really bad mushrooms or something. I don't know. I mean, there's probably certain mushrooms you don't put on a pizza. I don't know. She chuckles, shaking her head. I remember one dinner where she asked me, quite pointedly, how I managed the complications of being a dragon. She was concerned about our future, whether we'd be able to blend our traditions, whether I could ever truly be a part of her family's world. I winced sympathetically. That must have been difficult. It was, Victoria admits with a nod. There were many moments of tension and doubt. I had to prove that I could adapt to her standards, all while being true to who I am. I took lessons on etiquette, refined my speech, and learned to navigate the subtleties of human society. It wasn't just about fitting in, it was about showing that love and respect could bridge our worlds. Damn, I swear she should have seen how committed you were. And then, before we could resolve things, she fell ill and passed away. I never got the chance to fully earn her approval. Her eyes well up slightly, but her voice remained steady. It was a blow, losing her without having the chance to prove myself. But through it all, my commitment to her son never wavered. I knew that despite her reservations, my love for him was real and strong. I made a vow to honor that love and build a life together regardless of her acceptance. She takes a deep breath, her gaze turning resolute. Her passing was a painful chapter, but it also solidified my resolve. I knew then, more than ever, that my place was by his side, and while I wish things could have been different, I carry forward with the knowledge that the love we shared is what truly mattered. Wow. Just wow. I can't help but reflect on the depth of her devotion. Her love for her husband, despite the obstacles and pain of never fully earning his mother's approval, is clear and profound. And watch her throw all that away in her route, man. Like, oh, my ex-husband, I don't care anymore. It's evident that their bond was built on more than just shared moments. It was forged through resilience and unwavering commitment. Do you know why I'm telling you this story? I wonder why. I can't be the second only human here. Not a clue. She smiles warmly, her eyes twinkling with a mixture of nostalgia and understanding. Lately, I've noticed you with that young girl. Victoria's smile deepens. It reminds me so much of my own early days with my husband. The way you both interact, the share are we locked in? Are we actually locked into the Neela route? The way you both interact, the shared moments of the subtle glances, it takes me back to a time filled with similar feelings and hopes. I see in you both the same spark that once defined my own journey, and it brings me a sense of joy and nostalgia. With absolute grace, she eats what's left of her pizza slice. I wanted to share my story with you because I see the same potential for a beautiful, enduring connection between you and her. Love, after all, has a way of finding its path, much like it did for me, despite all the odds. I nod, touched by Victoria's heartfelt words, but I feel the need to clarify. Ma'am, I appreciate your sentiment, but I need to tell you that Neela and I are just friends. There's nothing more between us. Victoria's eyes widen slightly, and she chuckles softly. Yeah, she could see through your bullshit, I bet. I see, but you know, it's important to remember that friendships can be the foundation for something deeper. In my case, I was just a friend to my husband for quite some time before we became a couple. I raise an eyebrow, intrigued. Victoria's smile grows wistful. Indeed, we started off as friends, sharing moments and adventures. We laughed together, supported each other through challenges, and grew to understand one another deeply. It wasn't until much later, when I settled into myself, and he saw me for who I truly was, that our relationship evolved into something more. She leans in slightly, her gaze earnest. Sometimes it's the friendship that forms the strongest foundation for a lasting bond. It's not always about jumping into something romantic right away. Sometimes it's about building a deep connection and letting it grow into something beautiful over time. I see. I'm still not entirely sure what the future holds for Neela and me, or if there's even a potential for something more. For now, I'm navigating the present, trying to understand where our friendship might lead and how it might evolve over time. I'm lost in thought, trying to reconcile Victoria's words with my own uncertainties. I hear steps coming into my direction. Well, I wonder who... watch it be the bad... or the rich guy, or whatever. Oh no, it's Chef. The chef strides in with a warm smile, carrying a plate of a fresh slice of pizza, its crust golden and free of mushrooms. What else is on there, huh? Pepperoni? Hope it's just right this time. I thank him with a smile, grateful for the gesture. As he leaves, Victoria raises from her seat, her expression a mix of encouragement and warmth. Remember, she says, placing a gentle hand on my shoulder. Appreciate the time you have with Neela while you can. Friendships, like the one you have with her, can sometimes evolve into something more, and it's important to cherish those moments as they come, whether or not it turns into something deeper. The connection you have now is valuable. Bye-bye. With a final knowing smile, Victoria turns to leave, her graceful presence fading as she exits the saloon. Meanwhile, I sit here, savoring the pizza and reflecting on her advice, feeling both reassured and contemplative about the future. To think that Lady Victoria used to have an accent. The pizza in front of me, stripped of its mushrooms at my request. Yeah, because he couldn't pick them off himself. Is as plain as my current state of mind. I chew slowly, staring at the chewed-up remnants of cheese and dough, trying to piece together Lady Victoria's words about my friendship with Neela. She's convinced there's something more to it, something I'm apparently not seeing. I hold our quiet afternoons reading in her cabin, the nights spent watching stars, and talking about everything and nothing. Those moments were filled with a comfortable ease, a camaraderie I cherish deeply, but I never thought of them as anything beyond that. I pushed the slice of pizza around my plate, contemplating Lady Victoria's insinuation? I don't know. Insinuation, sorry. Wondering if maybe I missed something fundamental. As I chew on the last bite, I find myself mulling over the very nature of friendship. What does it really mean? I've always thought of it as a bond built on shared experiences and mutual respect, like the easy rapport Neela and I have. But now that I'm questioning if there's more to it, if there's a line somewhere between deep companionship and something more. Is friendship just the comfort of shared moments, or can it be something that evolves into something deeper, something more intimate? Well, time to go to the wheelhouse, I guess. Just as I'm about to step away, I hear that infuriating familiar laugh. Yeah, it's gonna be Rich Guy, ain't it? Wowie zowie. I turn to see that one annoying rich guy approaching with his two white teeth and smug grin cutting through the silence like a knife. His eyes are already gleaming with that irritating blend of entitlement and expectation. Hey, kiddo, I've been looking for you. Fuck me. I need another bottle of your finest. I beg your pardon? I can almost see the smug satisfaction in his expression, as if his request were the most important thing in the world. You heard me. I want another bottle of your finest wine. I take a deep breath, bracing myself for another round of his insufferable attitude before I can finally escape to the relative peace of the wheelhouse. Listen, mate, I just can't give you another bottle of wine. They belong to someone else, and they are listed as cargo. Hell if I care. Listen, I'm gonna make a deal with you. You do it, or I throw your ass off. Throw your ass off the boat. This can't be good. You give me a bottle and I won't have to report you to the Navy, got it? What do you mean? I've seen you around with that girl. She's a part of the crew, isn't she? Did you know it's not allowed to have relationships between crewmates? You know, I'm here as a passenger. This is a temporary job. Ah, but isn't it... What? It isn't for her, is it now? Crap. Yeah, here's the here's the deal. You snitch me out a bottle and I won't report her. He is blackmailing me. What the fuck? You will find out that I always get what I want, my friend. I walk away from the prick, heading to the wheelhouse. I'll be waiting for that bottle. Man, chat's been really quiet with this game, man. Another day, another shift. Captain is slumped over the wheel, barely keeping his eyes open. Good morning, sir. He stares, then manages a tired smile. Ah, just in time. Neela was here a moment ago, but had to run off to fetch something before she could take the wheel. You're on for now. Hopefully you're ready. I'm off to catch a few winks. I take my place by the wheel, gripping it firmly as I settle into the steady rhythm of guiding the old ship through the rough waves. Break a leg. Rest well. The moment the captain steps out, the wheel feels like it's alive, twisting and jerking in my hands as the storm's fury grips the ship. Each wave slams into us with a bone-rattling crash, threatening to wrench the wheel from my grasp. I grip my teeth, eyes squinting through the rain and fog, every nerve on edge as I struggle to counteract the erratic movements. How Neela made this look easy just yesterday in a storm like this is beyond me. I remember her calm, steady hands on the wheel, effortlessly gliding us through the chaos. Guiding, not gliding. Now with the ship groaning and creaking around me, every second feels like an eternity, and I can only hope that I can keep us on course as the tempest shows no sign of easing. The wheel continues to fight against me, each wave making it harder to keep the ship on course. My arms are burning, and sweat mixes with the rain on my face as I struggle to maintain some semblance of control. Just when I think I might lose my grip, a soft chuckle drifts over my shoulder. Struggling a bit, are we? Neela's voice is light and teasing. I turn my head sharply, catching her silhouette behind me. For how long have you been watching? I manage to ask through gritted teeth. She steps closer, her amusement clear. Oh, just enjoying the show for a few moments. She replies with a playful grin. You're doing fine, though. May I take over for a bit? I could use a bit of action myself. Grateful and exhausted, I relinquish the wheel, nodding as she takes her place. Her presence a warm relief against the storm of relentless assault. I sink into the fixed chair in the wheelhouse, feeling the fatigue settle into my bones as I watch Neela take over. The chair creaks softly beneath me, a welcome respite from the constant strain. Neela moves with a fluid grace, her hands confidently guiding the wheel through the tumultuous waves. Despite the storm's rage, her movements are calmed and measured, as if she's dancing with the storm rather than battling it. I watch Neela's striking figure as she maneuvers the wheel, her silver hair streaming behind her like a banner in the wind. Her eyes, sharp and focused, occasionally meet mine as we chat over the roar of the storm. Steer us about 10 degrees south. She adjusts the wheel smoothly, her movements deft and sure. I must say, I never tired of watching you handle the wheel. I add with a grin. Neela chuckles, the sound a soft contrast to the storm's fury. Flattery will get you everywhere, but thank you. It's not often I get to show off my skills like this. How was your morning? Her eyes twinkle with curiosity as she glances back at me, clearly enjoying the banter even amidst the chaos. I chuckle, leaning back slightly in the chair as I answer her. It was an eventful morning, to say the least. I had a glass of whiskey last night that helped me sleep soundly, but, of course, I woke up with a right hangover this morning. It seems the price for a good rest was a pounding headache and a bit of nausea. I rub my temples, remembering the ache. I suppose I should be grateful I'm not worse off. At least I'm still upright and trying to keep the ship on course. Neela laughs softly, the sound almost soothing against the storm's backdrop. Well, you're not the first to find himself struggling after a good drink. Just make sure you keep those sea legs steady, even if the rest of you isn't quite up to par. By the way, did you enjoy the pizza breakfast this morning? Neela glances over with a curious smile. Oh, absolutely. I'm still in awe of this new food concept. Uncle Chef's vision was simply divine. I never imagined pizza could taste so wonderful at sea. She chuckles, her accent adding a playful lilt. It's a bit of a revelation, really. I may never look at breakfast the same way again. Her eyes twinkle with genuine enthusiasm as she continues steering, clearly enchanted by the culinary surprise. So what did you think different about the pizza I taught Chef to make compared to his version this morning? I asked, genuinely curious. Neela's eyes light up as she considers the question. Well, even though it was you who showed him how to prepare it, I must admit, Uncle Chef's version had a certain finesse. His years of experience in the kitchen definitely shone through. The crust was perfectly crisp, and the flavors were more balanced. It seems his touch brought out a depth of that the recipe alone couldn't quite capture. She smiles warmly, clearly impressed. Your version was excellent, don't get me wrong, but there's something about the way he's able to enhance the details that made his pizza stand out. It was a delightful surprise. I tried to eat the first slice with mushrooms, but I just couldn't get past the flavor and the smell. I gave it a fair shot, but it was no use. I had to wait until the chef made a batch without them. Neela's eyes sparkle with amusement. Mushrooms, I'm quite the fan myself. She says with a playful grin. They had such an earthy depth to dishes. I was delighted to find them in the pizza this morning. It's always nice to have a bit of variety, don't you think? She laughs softly, clearly enjoying the contrast between our tastes. I raise an eyebrow, a teasing grin forming on my lips. So you're telling me you enjoy the flavor of Earth? I say, mimicking her earlier words. That's quite the culinary preference, Neela. I didn't realize you were such a fan of earthy flavors. Neela laughs, a warm, melodic sound, and swats my leg softly with her tail. It's not about the flavor of Earth, it's about the depth and richness mushrooms can bring to a dish. But if you prefer to think of it that way, I suppose that's your choice. She shakes her head, still smiling. As Neela expertly adjusts the wheel, I glance at the compass and notice we're slightly off course. 2 degrees to the north, I say, pointing to the compass. And while you're at it, maybe steer us towards a pizza with no mushrooms, just for me? Neela chuckles, her tail giving my leg another playful tap. Oh, I see how it is. You want to avoid the earthy flavors completely. What's next? A pizza with just cheese and plain dough? Hey, there's nothing wrong with simplicity. Neela shakes her head, still smiling. Well, I suppose everyone has their own tastes, but don't be surprised if Uncle Chef sneaks a few mushrooms into your next meal just to keep things interesting. My eyes widen slightly, and I glance over at her with a mock look of horror. Wait, you're not serious, are you? You wouldn't let him do that, would you? Neela's grin widens. Well, I'm just teasing, but remember how I had to eat that cauliflower the other day? Even though I'm not a fan, consider this your turn to experience a little culinary adventure. She laughs, clearly enjoying the playful banter. Just think of it as payback for making me endure the cauliflower. It's all in good fun. Hey, I had nothing to do with whatever the chef decides to cook. Besides, I think I've done my time with culinary adventures for a while. Neela chuckles, her eyes twinkling with mischief. Ah, but it's all part of the fun. Consider it a small payback for making me endure that cauliflower. It's only fair that you get a taste of something you might not love as much. I grin, feigning exasperation. Fine, just don't let him go too wild. I like to enjoy my meals without too many surprises. Neela laughs, giving me a reassuring pat on the shoulder with her tail. Don't worry, I'll make sure you get pizza without mushrooms, this time. But you can't escape the occasional culinary challenge forever. I nod, amused, as she returns her focus to the wheel. Yeah, she'll carry that attitude until more cauliflower shows up, right? Okay, he should tell Chef that prick is threatening his daughter. Oh yeah, huh? I feel like that's just gonna open up another can of worms too. It would be funny if there's a confrontation with a rich guy and he just falls into the water because storm. That might be a thing. I wonder how rich guy is gonna play out in like everyone else's routes, huh? I feel like he's like the central antagonist to this all, huh? Oh, also, Neela, there's this rich guy who blackmailed me to get him wine, or he will report you to the Navy. Well, I don't think he's just gonna tell her. It's almost lunchtime. Just like the days before the storm started, I didn't even notice how fast time passed. I could take over for a bit if you want. Maybe you can grab our lunches while I hold things down here. She glances at me with a small smile, and I reach for the wheel. The moment my hands touch it, I feel the raw power of the storm pushing back. The wheel is stiff, unyielding, as if mocking my attempts of keeping everything under control. Once she's gone, the ship seems to lurch harder. The storm sensing my vulnerability, my hands grip the wheel tightly, my arms straining against the relentless push of the waves. The wheel fights back with every turn, as if daring me to lose control. I grit my teeth, forcing myself to keep the ship on course. Come on, Anon, you can do this. But the truth is, it's taking everything I have just to keep the wheel from slipping through my fingers. My heart is pounding in my chest as I wrestle with the storm, the ship groaning under the strain. Why do you have to be so heavy? Just a little longer. I wrestle with the wheel, feeling it suddenly lighten for a moment, the pressure easing as if the storm is teasing me. The ship responds a little more smoothly, though the struggle is still intense with every turn. The brief reprieve vanishes quickly, and the wheel grows heavy again, testing my endurance. The door to the wheelhouse swings open, and Neela steps in with 2 plates of spaghetti, the warm aroma cutting through the salty air. Watch, spaghetti with mushrooms, right? But oh, why does it look like Neela aged like 30 more years? Speaking of Hagmaxane, huh? She sets the plates down on the improvised table and takes a seat. Her movements as effortless as when she was at the wheel. I'm still standing, hands locked on the wheel, sweat beading on my forehead. Neela glances at me with a playful grin as she twirls some spaghetti onto her fork. I couldn't ask for a better show while I eat. she teases between bites. You might want to ease up a bit before you sprain something. Besides, lunch is better enjoyed sitting down, don't you think? Well, who's gonna man the wheel, huh? She takes another bite, clearly enjoying her meal, while I keep my grip on the wheel. Well, that's a rhyme. Feeling the strain in my arms as the slight sting of her teasing. Narrowing my eyes at Neela, my arms trembling slightly as I maintain my grip on the wheel. You know I just can't leave the wheel right now, I say, trying to keep my voice steady despite the strain. Not unless we want to end up sideways in the middle of this storm. She raises an eyebrow, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, I didn't say a word when you offered to take over. I just figured I'd enjoy the perks while I can. Her tone is dripping with sass, and she leans back in the chair, clearly enjoying herself. I grit my teeth, struggling to keep the ship on course while she savors another bite. Yeah, well, I'm not used to it yet, and my arms are paying the price. Neela chuckles, not even pretending to feel sorry for me. She takes another slow, deliberate bite of her spaghetti. The amusement in her eyes unmistakable. You volunteered, remember? I was perfectly fine holding the wheel, but you just had to be the hero. She flashes a wicked grin. So now I'm just sitting here, letting you prove how strong and capable you are, and enjoying my lunch, of course. I roll my eyes, the strain in my arms growing by the second. Real generous of you, Neela. She shrugs, her smirk widening as her wings flutter slightly in amusement, and her tail flicks back and forth with barely contained delight. Hey, you wanted to take charge. I'm just taking advantage of your chivalry. Why does this feel like it's just back and forth with rehashed dialogue of the same thing? Like I said, this kind of reeks of AI text, man. Her wings stretch out a bit more as she leans back, clearly enjoying every moment of this. Don't worry, I'm almost done. The tone is full of mock sympathy as she takes her time with another forkful of spaghetti, savoring each bite deliberately slow. You know, chewing. It's amazing how more delicious the spaghetti tastes when you're working so hard. Almost makes me want to take my time even more. Her playful teasing is evident in every exaggerated chew, making it clear she's having the time of her life while I wrestle with the storm. I can't help but roll my eyes at her blatant enjoyment. Well, I'm thrilled to be your entertainment for the day. Just don't take too long. I'd hate to think that I'm fighting the storm for nothing more than a slow meal. Neela chuckles, her tail swishing as she takes another leisurely bite. Oh, don't worry. Consider it a bonus to my lunch break. I give her a wry smile, feeling the sweat on my brow as I struggle with the wheel. Well, enjoy the show while it lasts. If I end up with a torn muscle or two, I'll make sure to remind you about this moment. Me, when I eat the spaghetti, that makes you 30 years older. Neela finally finishes her lunch, setting the plate down with a satisfied sigh. She stretches her arms above her head, arching her back and spreading her wings in the slowest, most exaggerated manner possible. Her tail flicks with a final flourish as she gives a content yawn, clearly making the most of her relaxed moment. Well, I'm all done now. She slides out of the chair with a deliberate grace, giving me a knowing look as she starts to make her way towards the wheel. Time for me to take over again. I watch, slightly exasperated as she takes her time, approaching the wheel, her movements languid and carefree. You know, I'll be sure to remember how well you stretch when it's my turn to enjoy a leisurely meal. Neela meets my gaze with a level stare, her expression neutral. I've been on the ship long enough to handle a storm and enjoy lunch without drama. She yoinks me to the side with her tail while swiftly taking over the wheel once again. I'm sure you'll get your chance to kick back and relax soon enough. For now, just enjoy the break from all that hard work. The moment I open my mouth to respond, words catch in my throat as I try to come up with a comeback. The exhaustion from holding the wheel, combined with Neela's effortless control and playful tail yoink, leaves me momentarily speechless. I give up trying to think of something clever and instead slump to the fixed chair beside her. Yeah. At least the pasta is comforting, contrast to the stress I've been under. Neela glances at me with a smirk, clearly enjoying my moment of defeat. I dig into my lunch, feeling a mix of frustration and relief as I chew, trying to forget the storm outside and focus on the simple pleasures of a meal. Nighttime. Man, all this food's making me hungry. I should have ate, but I didn't want to have Taco Tuesday, man. I was feeling it. And I know when I feel like iffy, it's like I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat because it's either I get the shakes or I risk Taco Tuesday, and I'm getting hungry, man. A few hours later, our shift finally wraps up, but the storm outside is still relentless. The ship's bucking and groaning as the wind howls. Neela glances over at me, her usual playful grin replaced with a softer, more sincere expression. Hey, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for teasing you so much lately. You see, it's estrus season. Huh? You're the first friend I really had on the ship. It's been nice to interact with someone like this. I look at her, surprised by the shift in her tone. No need to apologize. I figured out that dealing with a dragon's sass is just part of the job. I guess I've been getting a crash course in fire-breathing humor. Neela, wait. Does any dragon here even really breathe fire? I mean, who's starting the fires on the ship and all that? Like, we've never seen any dragon breathe fire here since playing the game. Just saying. Just saying. Neela chuckles, her wings folding comfortably as she takes a deep breath. That was the most racist remark I've heard lately. It's nice to have someone who can handle a bit of teasing and still be a friend. I nod, appreciating the honesty in her words. Just as Neela and I are catching our breath in the wheelhouse, the door swings open and the captain steps in, his usual tired face creased with determination. Nothing to report, sir, except for a weak armed crewmate. I'll take over the wheel for now. You've both done more than enough today. Neela and I exchange relieved glances. Good night, Uncle. Neela says, stretching her wings with a sigh of relief. I follow her lead, feeling every muscle ache as I stretch my back. Neela and I leave the wheelhouse, the relentless roar of the storm still pounding outside, but the promise of rest makes it a bit easier to bear. Stepping out of the wheelhouse, we enter the adjacent saloon, where the warm glow of oil lamps flickers softly against the wood walls. The light casts long, gentle shadows, creating a cozy contrast to the chaos outside. The storm still rages on, but in here, the saloon feels like a small sanctuary from the turmoil. I make my way to one of the benches, still struggling at times to keep my balance as the ship sways beneath me. The exhaustion from the shift is settling deep into my bones, and as I sit down heavily, I glance over, expecting the same fatigue to show. But there's that familiar spark in her eyes, undimmed by the hours we just endured. What? Nothing. She settles onto the opposite bench, her wings folding neatly behind her, a small smile playing on her lips. I just enjoy seeing you struggling. Ha ha. Neela leans forward, her grin widening as she watches me shift uncontrollably on the bench. I have to admit, her tone changes into a more sincere one. I do enjoy watching you struggle a bit. The other crewmates don't work nearly as hard as when I'm in charge. They slack off, but not you. You actually put in the effort, and I respect that. I raise an eyebrow, both flattered and curious. So you're saying you enjoy watching me suffer because I'm the only one who does the job right? She laughs, the sound light despite the storm outside. Exactly, it makes me value your friendship even more. You're the first person on the ship who I feel like I can rely on, even if I do give you a hard time. Her words soften the teasing, turning it into a moment of genuine connection. We settle in across from each other, the flickering light creating a comforting atmosphere as we start to chat, the saloon becoming a small oasis of peace amidst the chaos outside. I can't help but notice how empty the saloon feels. The room, usually bustling with crew members and passengers during downtime, has been eerily quiet for 2 days straight now, the relentless storm keeping everyone at bay. My eyes linger on the empty spaces where the rest of the crew would normally sit. It's just the two of us in here, the silence broken only by the faint creaking of the ship and the low rumble of the storm outside. I guess everyone must be hunkered down in their cabins, riding out the storm in their own way. It's strange to think on how this storm has changed the rhythm of life on the ship, leaving the saloon, usually so full of life, feeling almost abandoned. I push the thought aside, turning my attention back to Neela, grateful for her company in this oddly quiet time. I can't shake the memory of Lady Victoria's words about how her friendship with her husband evolved into something deeper. She talked about how connections can sometimes shift from simple camaraderie to a more profound bond, and how that transformation can be both surprising and meaningful. The thought lingers in my mind, making me feel a bit uneasy, even though Neela and I have been alone together for most of the day. The quiet of the storm outside seems to amplify the subtle tension. It's as if the empty saloon and the storm have made everything feel a bit more intimate, and Lady Victoria's insight has suddenly taken on a new weight. I shift in my seat, trying to dispel the awkwardness that has crept in. It's really quiet here. Neela looks up, her expression curious but relaxed. It seems like it. Maybe we should enjoy the peace while it lasts. I try to keep the conversation going, but the words feel clumsy and forced. So, what do you think there will be for dinner? Neela's smile remains, though her eyes twinkle with amusement. The silence stretches, growing heavier despite my attempts to fill it. I fidget in my seat, feeling the awkwardness settle around us like a thick fog. Well, the nice music's playing, so something's happening. Stay quiet, speak up. Is this the rooftop scene? Chat is still quiet. Here, I'm gonna call chat out. How many people are in chat? No, I don't want the Zoom. No, Zoom Zoom is showing on... I'm hitting that again. Zoom show... Oh, wait, no, it's not showing on stream. That's on my other screen. Okay, never mind. I'm being schizo, I guess. Calling you out. 13 people, okay. I'll remember that. At least I will speak up, unlike chat. You know, it's funny. I was just thinking about something Lady Victoria said about how friendships can sometimes turn into something deeper. Neela's expression shifts to one of genuine interest, her playful demeanor giving way to a more thoughtful look. Oh, and what about it has you so preoccupied? Mouse is in the way. Get rid of the mouse. I shifted my seat, trying to articulate my thoughts clearly. It's just, I guess I've been feeling a bit, uncomfortable. We've been spending a lot of time together, and it's made me think about how our friendship might change. It's kind of, unsettling, I guess. Neela listens attentively, her eyes never leaving mine. She raises an eyebrow, clearly noticing my shyness, but waiting patiently for me to continue. After a moment, she nods slowly, her expression softening. I see. It's natural to feel that way. Her eyes light Her eyes light up with a playful glint as she leans in slightly, her smile widening. So you're saying you're actually considering the idea of our friendship evolving? I blink, feeling my cheeks flush. I didn't... Oh yeah, there's no history. Just gonna have to cope and seethe. She cuts me off with a light laugh. Relax, I'm just teasing you, but seriously, it's actually kind of sweet that you're thinking about it. It's just that before I can finish, the door to the saloon swings open, and the chef steps in, carrying 2 plates of steaming dinner. The sight of the food and the sudden arrival of someone else feels like a lifeline, pulling me out of the uncomfortable conversation. Dinner, he announces with a warm smile, setting the plates down on the table between us. Thanks, Uncle. I let out a quiet sigh of relief, my earlier unease momentarily forgotten as I focus on the delicious aroma wafting from the plates. Thank you, sir. That was the most genuine thanks I've said in my life. Neela's playful smile fades into a warm, grateful one as she reaches for her plate. Perfect timing, Uncle. We were just about to dive into some deep conversation. I guess we will continue after eating. Fuck. There's no escape, isn't it? The chef chuckles, ruffling her head affectionately, before turning to me with murder eyes. No mushrooms this time. Fair enough. With a final mock-threatening glance at me, he walks backwards, heading back to the kitchen. As we dig into our dinners, the earlier tension dissipates, replaced by some simple pleasures of good food in the company of a friend. The moment I take my first bite, I suddenly realize what I'm eating. The rich, savory flavors of the frittata mingle with the fresh herbs and cheese. And I blink in surprise. I've been so caught up in the earlier conversation and the awkwardness of the moment that I hadn't even noticed what was on the plates. The realization hits me. I didn't even look at the food before. Neela looks up from her plate with a nostalgic smile. Yeah, it's amazing. This frittata always takes me back. It reminds me of when I was a kid, and he used to make this for us whenever we had a rough day. It's kind of comforting, you know? I nod, appreciating the sentimental touch the dish brings to the evening. It definitely has that effect. It's like a taste of home, even here on the ship. Neela's smile grows warmer, and she gives a small, thoughtful shrug. For me, the ship is home. I've spent my whole life here, so it's where I feel the most comfortable. A smile appears on my face while I chew, touched by her words. Her smile grows warmer and she laughs, a playful glint in her eye. You know, for someone who's a high society kid, you've got zero manners. Look at you smiling and chewing like a kid who just discovered chocolate. I glance down, realize I must look pretty silly with my wide grin and mouth full. Neela shakes her head, still chuckling. Well, as long as you're enjoying it, I guess I can forgive your lack of sophistication. The storm outside rages on, but inside the saloon, the warmth of familiarity of our surroundings, along with the playful banter, makes everything feel a little bit more manageable. While we continue eating, I notice Neela glancing at me, and before long, our eyes meet across the table. The moment lingers as we both start to chuckle, and I can see the corners of her mouth twitching in a way that suggests she's trying to hold back more laughter. Suddenly, Neela chokes on her bite of frittata. Oh no, we're gonna have to use the Heimlich maneuver, aren't we? Watch that be a mini game. You have to like save her life or she dies. Her laughter escaping in a series of snorts and coughs. She puts her hand over her mouth, trying to stifle her amusement, but it's clear she's finding something hilariously funny. I can't help but laugh along with her, my own chuckles escaping as I watch her struggle to regain her composure. What's so funny? Neela finally manages to catch her breath, wiping a tear from her eye. Oh, nothing. Just the sight of you enjoying that frittata so much you look like a kid. It's kind of adorable. I shake my head, still smiling as I take another bite of the frittata. Well, if it makes you laugh, I guess I'm doing something right. Neela's laughter subsides into a warm smile, and we continue eating, our earlier awkwardness replaced by the easy camaraderie that comes with a shared laughter and good food. The silence between us now feels comfortable, a stark contrast to the awkwardness from earlier. The storm's rumble outside seems to fade into the background, leaving only the soft sounds of our utensils and the occasional patter of rain against the windows. After a while, Neela puts down her fork and looks at me with a thoughtful expression. You know... Huh? I'd really like for our friendship to flourish. I know we've had some awkward moments and misunderstandings, but I genuinely value having you around. It's nice to have someone to talk to and share these moments with. Her words surprise me and I can't help but smile. Neela's smile widens and she leans back, looking more relaxed. I'm glad we've gotten to know each other better, despite the rocky start. I think we've got something special here. We sit in companionable silence once more, the storm outside seeming less daunting now that the connection between us feels more solid. The warmth of the frittata and the comfort of our conversation create a sense of calm that makes the ship's rolling seem almost secondary. Same. Wait. I imagine Chef just sliding backwards with the concrete scraping sound. Same. Wait, same. Same to what? After we finish our meal, Neela and I exchange a few more words before she decides to head to her cabin. Good night. See you tomorrow, she says with a warm smile, pausing at the door. Good night, I reply, returning her smile. I watch her go, feeling a sense of contentment settle over me. The storm might still be raging outside, but the evening has left me with a renewed sense of connection. Uh-oh. Oh, he's wearing Anon green. Just before I'm about to head out, I feel a firm hand on my shoulder. I turn around to find the chef, giving me a serious look. His grip is strong, but there's a gentleness in his eyes that wasn't there before. Giovannido, a word, please. I nod, a little taken aback. He glances towards the door where Neela just left, then back at me. I overheard your conversation with my little one earlier. I just wanted to say, Grazi, you've made her smile again, something I haven't seen in a long time. She's been through a lot, and it means the world to me to see her so happy. His words take me by surprise, and I feel a warmth spread through my chest. Neela's a great friend. The chef nods, giving my shoulder a firm, reassuring squeeze before letting go. I should probably grab a drink. Then why do you look so kind of angry at me? The chef's eyes narrow slightly, not unkind, but sharp like a well-honed blade. Because she's still my daughter, Giovannido. I'm grateful you're being a good friend to her. I am. But just so we're clear, no funny business. Capiche? I nod quickly, caught off guard by the bluntness, but understanding completely. The weight of his words isn't lost on me. What is that? Binen? Just keep doing what you're doing. I escape towards my cabin before I become ground beef. Yeah, I'm pretty sure dragons can eat human, huh? A great way to hide the body, huh? After giving the door a few light knocks, just to be sure, I step into the cabin. The familiar space is dimly lit by the candle on the night table. Max is in the middle of putting on her shoes and looks up as I enter. She got the night shift. I was just about to head to the saloon for dinner. What's for dinner tonight? Frittata. Max's eyes light up with interest. Frittata, nice. I'll definitely have to get some of that. Are you going to sleep now? Just as Max is about to step out, she pauses and turns back to me. You heading to bed now? I shake my head to her. Not just yet. I'm going to work on that wood carving figure I've been chipping away at. Max nods, a knowing smile on her face. Bye! Once the door closes behind her, I settle into my corner of the cabin, pulling out my folding knife and the block of wood I've been working on. The rhythmic motion of the blade against the wood, combined with the dim light and the muffled storm outside, bringing a sense of calm as I immerse myself in the familiar soothing task. I've been carving for days now, but it's only recently that a clear image has started to form into my mind. A small dragon, delicate yet strong, with a playful tilt to its wings and a confident stance. It reminds me of Neela, with her sassy remarks and the way she effortlessly handles the ship, even in the worst of the weather. The thought brings a slight smile to my face as I begin to carve, each careful stroke of the knife bringing that image closer to life. You can almost see Neela's features emerging, sharp yet gentle, poised yet full of energy. Gradually, my movements slow, and my eyes grow heavy, the intricate details of the dragon blur together, and I find myself leaning forward, the weight of my exhaustion pulling at me. I'm halfway through a delicate curve when I begin to drift, comforting drone of the storm outside merging with the hum of my own tired thoughts. Before I realize it, the carving knife slips from my hand and stabs my foot. Yeah. And my head nods forward, resting gently against the block of wood. The last thing I feel is the warmth of the ship riding the waves. You sure it's not the warmth of the blood pooling in your shoe? Oh. I would not trust the knives. I would not trust falling asleep with a knife, dude. Just saying. Now it's Thursday. And we just appear at the food hall. Two concrete scraping sounds. Okay. The rain is still coming down in sheets, blurring the view outside the saloon window. I poke at my breakfast, not really hungry, just going through the motions. It's been 4 days of relentless downpour. There's not much left to say about it. Across from me, Lady Victoria sits quietly, sipping her tea and watching the ocean. The waves are gentle for once, just a slow rise and fall beneath the gray. I glance at her, but she seems lost in thought, her gaze fixed on the horizon. I don't blame her. There's only so much you can talk about when the sky won't let up. I take a slow bite of the waffle, the slight sweetness mixed with the bitterness of the tea. It's warm and comforting, even if my appetite is half-hearted. I chew thoughtfully, watching the rain streak down the glass in endless lines. Without shifting her gaze from the horizon, Lady Victoria breaks the silence with a sigh. When do you think it's going to stop raining? I don't answer right away, just take another sip of tea, feeling the warmth spread through me. Hard to say. Could be today, could be another 4 days. Her eyes remain fixed on the gray stretch of water, like she's searching for some answer in it. Lady Victoria's fingers trace absent circles around the rim of her cup, her nails lightly tapping the porcelain in a rhythmic, almost hypnotic pattern. She hasn't looked away from the horizon once, as if the rain itself holds some kind of secret she's trying to unlock. Do you like the rain? Her voice quieter this time, almost like the question isn't really meant for me, but more of a thought spoken aloud. The rain has always been something I can take or leave, more of an obstacle than anything else. But after 4 days of nothing but gray skies and endless downpour, it's hard to say I feel any fondness for it now. I don't know, I guess it's fine in small doses, but this? I gesture vaguely towards the window, where the rain continues its steady assault on the glass. I'm not so sure. Lady Victoria lets out a soft chuckle, her fingers still tracing the edge of the cup. Where I lived, the rain was the most usual thing in the world. A day without it felt like a rare gift. Do you live next to Freya, I assume? We'd wake up to the sound of it on the roof. Wait, this is Victoria. Whoops. We'd wake up to the sound on the roof, go to bed with it still pattering down. I stopped paying attention to whether I was soaked or covered in mud. Became part of the routine, really. She finally pulls her gaze away from the horizon, glancing at me with a small smile. Mud up to my ankles, my hair dripping wet. None of it mattered. You just had to learn to live with it. There's a certain nostalgia in her voice, a familiarity with the rain that goes deeper than just a passing storm. Victoria's smile deepens as she leans back against the table, cradling the cup of tea with both hands. Summers were different, though. That's when I'd take my husband up to the highlands with me. He wasn't used to the rain at first, but he adapted quickly. Her eyes drift back towards the window, but this time her expression is lighter, almost fond. I remember for the first time he met my family, they adored him right away. A quiet laugh escapes her lips. He charmed them without even trying. My father took to him instantly, kept calling him a proper gentleman, though he wasn't exactly what you'd call refined. She pauses, her eyes shimmering with the weight of old memories. Of course, my mother found out about his wealth soon enough. That changed things a bit. She shakes her head with a soft chuckle. After my mother found out about his wealth, she became incredibly friendly. Almost too much, if I'm being honest. Every time we visited, she would bake a cake, every single day. And not just any cake, elaborate ones, layered with fresh cream, berries, and all sorts of rich toppings. Victoria laughed softly, covering her mouth. He was too polite to refuse, of course. Every day, without fail, he'd eat another slice, telling her it was the best cake he ever tasted. And every day she'd beam as if she'd just won him over all over again. As Lady Victoria trails off, I sense she's not quite done yet. I brace myself, ready for the rest of her story, as she clears her throat and takes another sip of her tea. Victoria, bitch, please! All I mentioned was that I wasn't sure I liked the rain, and now I'm caught up in the tales of cakes, charming families, and polite endurance. I shift in the bench, mentally preparing for whatever else she's about to share, hoping it's something that'll be as comforting as the waffle and tea in front of me. You know, my father took a liking to him, too. During the evenings, he'd drag my husband over to the tavern to help out. Get a taste of the real life, he'd say with a grin. She chuckles softly, shaking her head. My husband, bless him, had never really dealt with drunk people before. He was completely out of his element. There were a few nights he'd end up with a drink spill on him, or some rather colorful remarks made at his expense. Oh, now her accent's coming out. I remember one night in particular, he tried to calm down this particularly rowdy patron, and the guy ended up hugging him, declaring him the best counselor he ever had. My husband just stood there, looking utterly bewildered. Victoria laughs, no longer covering her mouth. Her laughter rich and warm, a side of her I had not seen before. It was a bit of a mess, but it was endearing watching him try to navigate it all. My father and I would watch for the sidelines, stifling our laughter when he made a best of a rather chaotic situation. Victoria's accent suddenly thickens. Even more now? Oh boy. My family really took to him. Even though he was a human, they thought he was a gem. It didn't bother him. Here's where I start to fucking go full retard mode. And I'll admit, I'd done a bit of boasting to my friends. Oh, you should meet my husband, I'd say. He's the best thing since sliced bread. I'd go on about how kind he was, and he handled everything so well. Even when he was getting drenched or dealing with rowdy patrons, I may have exaggerated a wee bit, but he was truly something special. Lady Victoria's laughter fades into a soft smile as she continues reminiscing, but suddenly she blinks and looks a bit startled, her eyes wide for a moment as she seems to become aware of her accent. Oh, I've been rabbling in my old accent, haven't I? Yep. She clears her throat and straightens in the bench, her demeanor becoming more composed. Though a small blush colors her cheeks, her tail moves slightly, a subtle indication of her surprise. I'm already gonna know. I'm gonna enjoy this fucking route, ain't I? Victoria, you're from London. Anon dies in a freak carving accident. Yeah. You can just imagine Anon doing the Ace Ventura spear scene when he drops the knife. Her Scottish is coming out, yeah. It's gonna be a pain, this route. Forgive me, it seems I got a bit carried away with the memories. No problem. Freaking finally. She glances at me with a hint of apology in her eyes, then resumes her more polished manner. I suppose some stories bring out the old ways of speaking. Thank you for indulging me. You are welcome. I finish the last bite of my waffle, the sweetness lingering as I push my plate away. I stand up from the table, feeling a bit like we've just emerged from a whirlwind of nostalgia and cake. This game is just making me hungry, if anything, man. It sucks. With a nod to Lady Victoria, I offer a smile. Thank you for the story, I say, though I'm still mentally processing the unexpected turn of our breakfast conversation. I head for the door, feeling the need to shift gears and focus on the task ahead. The rain still drums relentlessly outside, but it's time to have the warmth of the saloon behind. Leave the warmth of the saloon behind. Whoops. I step into the wheelhouse, the steady rhythm of the rain tapping against the windows. The room feels quiet, save for the occasional groan of the ship as it cuts through the calm waves. Some of the windows are slightly fogged from the moisture, making the world outside seem even more distant. As I scan the room, I notice the captain standing by the wheel, completely still, head tilted just enough to look like he's fallen asleep on his feet. I'm not sleeping. Before I can even call him out, his voice breaks the silence, dry and gruff. I freeze, surprised by how he knew I was about to say something. The captain's hands move to the wheel, his eyes still closed, making small instinctive adjustments as he could feel the ship's course without needing to look. Each subtle shift of the wheel is precise, the ship responding smoothly beneath our feet. I watch in disbelief, my mind racing. It usually takes both Neela and me to pilot the ship, her at the wheel and me with my eyes on the navigation charts, making sure we're on course. It's a two-person job at the best of times, especially in weather like this. Yet here's the captain steering effortlessly with his eyes shut. That's just time for another drink, ain't it? Yeah, I don't have my humidifier on either, so I'm struggling. It's a little too late for the humidifier. I shake my head slightly, still surprised. He's doing it with his eyes closed, literally. His calm confidence in the middle of the stormy shift makes me feel like I'm seeing something unreal. The captain's hand stays steady on the wheel as he breaks the silence again, his tone casual. So, what's for breakfast? Waffles and tea. There's a brief pause, as if he's considering the idea. You know, my nephew likes her waffles plain, nothing on top. Isn't that weird? I shrug, leaning against one of the wooden beams near the wheel. I don't see anything wrong with that. Some people just like things simple. The captain opens one eye slightly, a hint of a smirk playing on his lips. Simple eye, just a bit unusual to me. The old dragon scratches a chin through his thick beard, the faint rasp of hair cutting through the quiet. Nila will be up here in a few minutes. She went to check on the coal we've burned through so far. Boiler's been working hard with all this rain, so we've got to keep an eye on that. He adjusts the wheel slightly, the ship responding smoothly beneath us. She'll have it all figured out, though. She's already had a feel for what it takes to keep the ship running steady. I can't help but admire Neela. Her focus, her energy, how she always seems to know what needs to be done before anyone else does. The captain remained silent for a while, his hand resting idly on the wheel, making the occasional minor adjustment. Just when I think the conversation's over, he speaks up, his voice calm but deliberate. Do you like her? The question catches me off guard. I glance over at him, but his eyes are still half closed, his expression unreadable. It's as if he's been waiting for the right moment to ask. The captain stays quiet for long enough after his question. His gaze still has focused on the horizon, as if waiting for me to process what he just asked. You know, despite being her uncle, I've had a hard time trusting her at the wheel sometimes. But she's good at it, I say in a defensive tone without meaning to. He nods slowly, scratching his beard. Indeed, she's good, real good, but not that. It's not that. She didn't go to the Navy school like I did. She didn't get that formal training. She's learned by watching me and picking up what she could on her own. He pauses, a hint of guilt in his tone. The chef is my best friend. He's a fine man, but he wasn't a sailor. Neela didn't have the same structure or discipline I did. I know she's capable, but there's always a nagging feeling she's missed out on something, even though she's got the talent. I look at the captain, feeling the weight of his concerns. I understand where you're coming from, but after watching Neela these past 11 days, I've got to say, she's earned my trust. She's capable, and she handles everything she's tasked with like a pro. I nod, emphasizing my point. She may not have gone through the Navy school, it still ain't on. But she's learned from the best, watching you and picking up the skills she's needed. From what I've seen, she's more than capable of doing whatever comes her way. I trust her with the wheel any day. The captain's eyes shift slightly towards me, and he asks again, more pointedly. So, do you like her? I hesitate, feeling a flush of shyness creep up into my cheeks. Well, yeah, I do like her, as a friend, of course. But I have to say, she's a wonderful woman. She's got a lot going for her, both professionally and personally. I look away, suddenly feeling a bit self-conscious. She's impressive, and I respect her a lot. The captain raises an eyebrow, turning his head slightly and glancing at me with a curious look. Then why don't you say it directly to her? Oh, uh-oh, it's all over, bros. It's all over. Try not to eat VN edition. Well, I've done food breaks before, regrettably. Shit just happens, you know? We will learn Victoria's secret when her route comes, oh god. Ugh. Before I can respond, I catch a glimpse of movement and turn to see Neela standing silently behind me. The door to the wheelhouse had been left open when I got here, and the rain outside had masked the sound of her approach. Her eyes are wide, her expression unreadable, and my heart skips a beat as I realize she must have overheard our conversation. I stand there, caught off guard, with a mix of embarrassment and surprise flooding over me. The captain, a knowing smirk on his face, leaves the wheelhouse without saying a word. His footsteps echo faintly as he exits, leaving me alone with Neela. I'm left processing with what just happened. My mind races, and I can't help but mother silently to myself, Was that even a word back in the 19th century? As I feel a flush of frustration and embarrassment. Neela, meanwhile, stands there with tears glistening in her eyes. Though she's not crying, instead she's smiling softly, her expression a mix of surprise and something warmer. more tender. She meets my gaze, and her smile seems to say more than words ever could. The dragoness takes her place at the wheel, her movements smooth and purposeful. The silence that follows is almost palpable, despite the steady roar of the rain outside. Neither of us speaks, and the quiet between us feels heavy, almost electric, and the air is thick with unspoken words and emotions. I can't help but feel a deep blush creeping up on my cheeks. It's a sensation I never experienced before. My body feels like it's almost boiling. The intensity of the moment, sorry. I'm just hungry is all. My blood feels like it's almost boiling with the intensity of the moment. I shift slightly, trying to regain my composure, but the silence only seems to deepen the blush and the heat coursing through me. I sit down silently in a fixed chair, pretending to focus intently on the navigation charts. I wish I could break the ice by pointing out a correction, but the worst part is that she is following the correct course perfectly. It only adds to my sense of helplessness and frustration. I shift uncomfortably, my mind racing as I try to find a way to bridge a gap that's formed between us. My mind is in blank. I'm fidgeting with my fingers, trying desperately to ease the nervous energy bubbling inside me. My mind races with half-formed thoughts, but nothing comes out. The tension in the wheelhouse feels like it's squeezing the air out of the room, and every second of silence only makes it worse. I glance over at Neela, trying to play it off, but when I do, she catches my eye and gives me a playful smirk. It's small, barely noticeable, but enough to send my heart racing all over again. She knows exactly what she's doing. As I keep fidgeting, trying to calm the nervous energy, I suddenly feel something soft brush against my arm. Without saying a word, Neela has subtly tangled her tail around my forearm. The touch is gentle, almost playful, but it sends a jolt through me like lightning. She's focused on the wheel, her face calm, pretending nothing unusual is happening, yet that small, knowing smile still lingers on her lips. Neela's tail gives my arm a soft squeeze, breaking the tension like a warm breath in the cold air. I glance up at her, and this time she's looking right at me. Her eyes, though still playful, carry a deeper curiosity now. "Did you really mean what you said?" she asked softly, her voice gentle but carrying enough weight to make my stomach flip. Her tail remains around my arm, like an unspoken bridge between us, and suddenly the air feels even heavier. Like the answer matters more than anything else right now. I've thought about it, or yes. So, yes or more elaborate yes. Dating more dinos, Porku. No, these are dragons. It's different. I'll just go yes. Why hide it? I take a deep breath, feeling the warmth of her tail still wrapped around my arm. My heart races as I meet her gaze. Yes. For a moment, Neela just looks at me, her eyes glistening, then a tear rolls down her cheek, but she's smiling softly, warmly. She doesn't say anything at first, just lets the emotion settle in the room. Her tail tightens slightly, and then she brushes away the tear with her free hand, still smiling. The sight of her so moved stirs something deep inside me, and I can't help but smile back, though my heart is pounding. Well, was I raised? Oh no. Just as I'm about to speak, Neela suddenly pulls me closer with her tail, causing me to nearly lose my balance as I stumble forward. Before I can fully process what's happening, she wraps her arms around me in a tight hug. The warmth of her embrace takes me by surprise, but it's comforting. Oh, we're gonna see Chef soon, aren't we? I'm really thankful, she whispers softly, her voice close to my ear. Whether it's for my honesty or something deeper, her gratitude feels sincere. I stand there for a moment, caught off guard, but I soon relax into the hug, letting the tension melt away. Her hold is firm yet gentle, and there's a warmth to it that makes everything feel just right. So Anon is dating dragons now. Different Anon. What are dragons if not mythological dinos? I mean, dragons and dinos are close enough. Well, one breathes fire and flies. Well, I mean, pterodactyls fly too, but still. Neela tightens her grip, and suddenly the hug goes from comforting to something a bit more intense. Oh no, she's gonna start kissing me. No. Her arms and tail wrap around me with surprising strength, and I can feel the pressure building across my back. It's almost to the point where I swear I hear something creak. My spine protests, but I don't say a word. As if the hug wasn't intense enough, Neela unfurls her wings and wraps them around me, too, cocooning me completely in her warmth. Her wings feel soft but firm, like an extra layer of comfort and protection. I'm practically engulfed, trapped in her embrace as she squeezes tighter. Her strength pressing against my back until I can feel the bones there practically groaning in protest. Neela. Her wings give one final strong press before she finally eases up, loosening her hold around me. Oops. I take a deep breath as the pressure lifts, her warmth still lingering. I'm about to say something, but instead, I think to myself, fuck it, and wrap my arms around her, embracing her back. After a long moment, Neela finally loosens her grip and lets go, her wings slowly retreating as she steps back, which, hold on, I need to check something. Okay, it is off. I didn't think like the updates would switch that automatically and bamboozle me. I didn't want to flashbang the stream with that. There's a quiet warmth in her smile, and I can't help but feel a little lighter. I move back to the fixed chair, trying to shake off the subtle rush of emotions and focus on guiding her. 2 degrees in the north. Neela adjusts the wheel without a word, but we both exchange a quick and knowing look, both of us visibly more at ease, a quiet sense of contentment settling in after the moment we had just shared. It's lunchtime. The hours have passed quietly, the rain still pattering softly against the windows, though the tension between us is all but dissolved. I stretch in the fixed chair, glancing towards the clock before turning to Neela at the wheel. Look, I'm gonna make a deal with you guys. I will do 1 more hour if I can go eat. So I'm gonna go eat. I'll come back and I'll do another hour. I was gonna cut it off at 2, but I'm just too hungry right now. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I needed to eat something. It was driving me insane. Anyways. What do you think is for lunch today? Neela, still focused on the course, smirked slightly. If I know my uncle, probably something hearty, maybe stew, or those pies he's been working on. Her tail flicks idly as she speaks, clearly relaxed. Why, you hungry? Yeah, I was. Why, you hungry already? I grin and lean back in the chair, hanging a casual look. Actually, I can hear your stomach rumbling from over here. I tease, not expecting much from the comment. Neela's reaction is instant. Her face flushes red, as if I struck right on target. She glances away, clearly flustered. Oh, no you can't. She protests, but the way she shifts nervously tells me I hit the mark, even if it was pure coincidence. I blink, realizing my little joke was closer to the truth than I thought. I stifle a laugh and lean forward. Oh, really? I better focus on guiding us before you devour the charts, then. Neela pouts, her lips forming a small, exaggerated frown as she narrows her eyes at me. You know, for someone bald, you sure have a lot to... sure have a lot to say... What? Correlation? What, bald people are quiet? What, you play too much Slender Man? I don't get the correlation with this one. It's probably AI, I bet. I don't know. Low blow. Low blow for what? For what? No, she literally pulled that out of her ass. Before I can say more, she slaps my hand lightly with her tail. Neela crosses her arms, her smirk widening as she leans towards me. I'm just saying, all that wind outside must feel real nice on that shiny head of yours. I roll my eyes, unable to hide my grin. Yeah, at least my stomach's not out here growling loud enough to steer the ship. She scoffs, cheeks still slightly red from earlier. Oh, please, I've got better control than that, bald or not. Her tail flicks again, this time hitting me a little harder. Alright, I get it. I snap, my mood darkening. Being called bald 3 times in quick succession has hit a nerve, and I can feel a vein throbbing in my forehead. Bald people piss. Oh. Without another word, I stand up abruptly and make my way out of the wheelhouse. The door swings open with a sharp creak, and I stride towards the saloon with purpose, my frustration clear in every step. Another fellow bald man who's probably silent, huh? After leaving Neela in the wheelhouse, I could still hear her voice saying something about my hair ringing in my ears, but I shake it off. What? Is the AI hallucinating in this one? As I step into the saloon, I spot the chef moving around a large central table where a few passengers are already seated. The chef is busy serving lunch, sliding bowls and plates in front of passengers, offering quick nods and smiles as he goes. I wait for a moment until he's free, catching his eyes just as he finishes handing a plate to someone across the table. He wipes his hands on his apron and approaches me. Getting lunch for you and Neela? Yeah, but I got a bit of an odd request. He tilts his head, curious. Odd, eh? What is it? Could you make me a lemon tea? Just boiled water with 2 slices of lemon. The chef blinks, clearly not expecting that. I smile, a bit of nostalgia creeping in. It's something the maid at my manor used to make for me from time to time. Comforting, I guess. The chef gives a slow nod, still a bit puzzled, but willing to oblige. I'll put the kettle on the stove. As I watch him go, I can't help but think to myself, it also helped me to cool off when I was mad. Thought stirs up some memories of long afternoons back home, sitting in the quiet of the manor, nursing that warm cup of lemon tea whenever frustration got the better of me. It's strange how something so simple could bring me back from the edge, how the bitter sweetness of the lemon somehow soothed whatever had gotten under my skin. The chef grabs 2 plates, one in each hand, and walks back towards me without missing a beat. He places the dishes in front of me, thick slices of bread resting on the side of a hearty stew. Lunch for you and my little one. The tea is on the way, just waiting for the kettle to boil. The chef steps back towards the stove, and I watch the kettle start to steam, thinking again about how that simple drink always managed to cool me off when I was mad. Without a word, he picks up a lemon from the counter, flicks his knife into the air, and with one swift motion, slices the lemon cleanly mid-air. It happens so fast, I barely register it. It's just a single blur of his knife, and somehow there are 2 perfect slices falling into the cutting board, while the rest of the lemon lands neatly next to them, cleanly halved. I blink, my heart skipping a beat. That was terrifying to watch. I've seen skilled cooks at work, but this was something else. One move and the lemon's perfectly sliced without a second of hesitation. The blade didn't even seem to touch it. What kind of maniac cuts lemons like that? The chef just hums to himself, completely unfazed, as if he hadn't performed a small act of sorcery with that knife. As the kettle whistles, he pours the boiling water over the lemon, releasing a light citrusy aroma into the air. A moment later, he grabs a jar off the shelf and walks back towards me, holding both a steaming cup of tea and the jar with a casual ease. Here you go. I'm out of sugar at the moment. Didn't realize it until just now, and it'd be a waste to go to the cargo hold and haul up a whole sack just for 1 cup. Understandable. I glance at the jar of treacle. Treacle? Familiar with the stuff, but always cautious. Treacle is tricky, at least for me. Every time I try to use it, I ended up misjudging how much to add. Either it's too little and does nothing, or too much and the tea turns into a syrupy mess. Damn, treacles. I used it before, but it's always a gamble. I never figure out how much to add without turning it into something undrinkable. The chef chuckles, unscrewing the lid and handing me a spoon. A little goes a long way, just a dab and you'll be fine. I carefully dip the spoon into the thick syrup, trying to scoop out the smallest amount I can manage without overdoing it. The aroma shifts, a deeper, richer sweetness, blending with the citrus. Let's hope I don't ruin it. I mutter under my breath, giving the cup one last stir before taking a cautious sip. I take a sip and immediately my face scrunches up. The sweetness is way too overpowering, drowning out the lemon completely. I let out a sigh, staring into the cup as it might fix itself somehow. I fucked up. The chef, who had been watching with an amused expression, just shakes his head with a chuckle. Without saying a word, he turns and walks away, heading back to the stove to tend to whatever else he's cooking, leaving me to wrestle with the overly sweet concoction in front of me. I glance at the cup again, my mind already trying to figure out how to salvage this. Maybe Neila'll drink it. I gather the plates of food and carefully balance the cup of tea in one hand. The food looks as good as it smelled, but I can't shake the thought of the overly sweet tea. With a resigned sigh, I make my way back towards the wheelhouse. Chef really just judgment cut the lemon. The saloon is filled with the smell of ozone. Yeah, from all that knife wielding. I return to the wheelhouse with 2 steaming plates of stew balanced in my hands, the scent of the hearty meal filling the air. Neela glances over at me and I set them down on the small table. Mind taking the wheel while I eat? I could take a rest. Sure. I reply, moving over to the wheel and taking control while she steps away to sit down. As she picks up her plate, her eyes land on the cup I brought her. Yeah, I bought with my money. I'm a rich boy money. What kind of coffee is this? It smells odd. Why don't you try it and find out? She raises an eyebrow at me, but lifts the cup to her lips for a sip. At first, her expression is puzzled, clearly unable to place the flavor. After a second, more curious sip, her face lights up. Hey, this is actually pretty good. I blink, caught off guard. Of all things, I didn't think she'd like the oversweetened concoction. You really like it? I got a sweet tooth, and this hits the spot. I blink, still surprised that as she takes another satisfied sip, curiosity gets the better of me and I can't help but ask. Mind if I try it again? I wasn't expecting you to like it so much. No, mine! Neela, without missing a beat, pulls the cup closer to her and gives me a serious face. Mine! I raise an eyebrow, half amused, half intrigued. Seriously? It's literally just Fang again. It's Fang and Olivia. Oh. She just shrugs and takes another long sip, clearly enjoying herself. You snooze, you lose. I grip the wheel a little tighter, feeling a flicker of irritation rising. Now that she's claimed it, I really want to try the tea again. Come on, just one sip. She glances at me, her grin widening as if she's enjoying this way too much. Nope. She says, popping the P with a teasing finality. I glare at the cup in her hands, now irrationally fixated on it. You're not serious, are you? Dead serious. She says, taking a slow, exaggerated sip. This is mine now. It's like that one, it's that meme, Anon will have the tea. It's like, I made this. And then Neela's like, I made this. It's mine now. I sigh, feeling mildly pissed off, but there's nothing I can do except focus on steering the ship and muttering under my breath. Unbelievable. Neela showing her inner kobold, yeah. The sky has taken a deep amber hue, casting long shadows across the deck as the day winds down. Looks like the clouds are finally moving away, but don't get too comfortable. We might get more rain later. Neela stretches, rolling her shoulders as she looks out at the horizon. I glance up at the sky, relieved to see a break in the overcast. Good, it's been a pain washing my clothes dry every day, and with no sun, they just stay damp. I'm getting tired of walking around in humid clothes all the time. Neela raises an eyebrow, leaning against the doorway with that familiar smirk. You could always hang them near the engine room. The heat there should dry them in no time. I tried leaving them in the boiler room, but someone keeps tossing them outside. I guess they didn't appreciate my creative drying solution. I can imagine the crew isn't thrilled about clothes draped over the boilers. You've got guts, though. Points for trying. Desperate times. As the sky deepens into twilight, the door to the wheelhouse creaks open, and the captain steps in, looking a bit more refreshed than where he left. His sharp eyes sweep over the room before landing on Neela and me. There's been a light stiffening in the wheel. Probably needs a bit of oiling. Nothing major, but it's noticeable. I didn't notice it. The captain nods, inspecting the wheel for a moment. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Go get some rest. I exchange a quick glance with Neela as she steps aside, and we both nod, ready to take our leave. I step into my cabin, the exhaustion from a long shift weighing on me. The door creaks shut behind me. For some reason, my thoughts keep drifting to Neela. There's a warmth there, something more than just her teasing or sass. Something that makes me pause. I walk over to the small table and pick up the wood figure I've been carving. It finally has a shape now, a dragon's head. Well, if it's a head, then I thought it had wings earlier. I don't know. A dragon's head, I run my thumb over the rough edges, smoothing the ridges of the snout, the curve of the jaw. It's only then I realize the head looks like Neela's. Sharp angles of her cheekbones, the way her eyes catch the light when she's focused. I didn't mean to carve it that way, but there it is, plain as day. I sigh, sitting down with my folding knife in hand, ready to work on it again, yet unsure if I should. I sit down on the bench, the wood creaking slightly beneath me, and set the figure on my lap. My fingers tighten around the handle of the folding knife as I start carving again. The blade slicing into the wood with soft, rhythmic scrapes. Each stroke feels purposeful, even though my mind drifts back to Neela. I keep telling myself I should focus, that it's just a dragon, nothing more. But the resemblance is too strong. The way the wood curves under my knife, shaping those familiar features, makes me wonder if I've been thinking about her more than I realize. The face is almost complete now, and there's no denying it. It's her, not intentionally, but I can see Neela in the details. Her sharp eyes, the proud tilt of her head. Maybe Lady Victoria was right. Connections, whether we notice them or not, shape more than we think. Friday? It's Friday, Friday. Gonna crash a ship on Friday. Another gray morning inside the ship. Yesterday it stopped raining for a couple of hours, but it resumed not long after. I stretch and get out of my bunk, glancing over at Max, who is still buried in that book she's been reading the past few days. After filling the bucket with water, I toss them in, watching the dirt and sweat soak out. Just as I'm about to grab the soap, I realize it's missing. Now what? Max might have some, but asking her isn't exactly the best idea. She would have to get dressed to go to the cargo area to pick up one bar. There's no way I can clean these without soap. With a sigh, I turn to Max, who's still deep in her book. Hey, mate, can I bother you for a second? She barely shifts, just glancing at me over the edge of the pages. Yes? Where can I get another bar of soap? You ran out already? I thought you were stretching it thin yesterday. Well, it's gone. Max closes her book, resting it on her lap as she gives me a considering look. Hard to explain. There should be a crate with some supplies stashed in the far corner. Any visual reference? A crate next to another crate behind a crate. Really helpful. It's not that I don't want to help you, but I'm comfy here. I roll my eyes. Of course, can't disturb your cozy setup for something as trivial as soap, right? Exactly. I mean, you've got it under control, don't you? Just head to the far corner of the cargo hold. That's tucked behind some crates. Easy enough. Right, easy for you to say underneath all those blankets. Max grins, shifting back into her pillows. Hey, I'd trade places with you, but someone has to make sure the world's mysteries get unraveled. I'm doing my part. Sure, sure. I say, shaking my head, but I can't really be mad since it's my mistake for not checking on the soap earlier. I'll let you know if I uncover the grand mystery of soap storage. Good luck, she teases, flipping open her book again. I turn to leave, shaking my head at Max, still buried in her book, but a mischievous idea pops into my head. I glance at the bucket of water, then back at her, still lounging without a care in the world. Quietly, I dip my hand in the bucket, letting it soak for a second. With a quick flick of my wrist, I send a few drops of cold water splashing onto her face. Max lets out a startled gasp, blinking up at me in shock. Really? She sputters, her book now raised in defense as she wipes her face with the back of her hand. I'm already halfway out the door before she can do anything. Thank you for your help. You still have to come back here. Well, here I am. Max said far corner, but watch, we're going to have the opportunity to pluck a wine out, aren't we? Max said far corner, but looking around, I realized that could be any corner. There are at least 4 of them, and all of them are buried under piles of supplies. I sigh, rubbing the back of my neck. Of course she didn't bother to be specific. This is going to take a while. I glance around, trying to decide where even to start. With a resigned shrug, I walk towards the nearest stack of boxes, hoping I won't be down here all day. As soon as I crouch down and pull at a small crate, I freeze. To my surprise, I see a box tucked right behind it, almost like it's waiting for me. I pry it open, and there it is, a whole stash of soap bars. I blink, almost laughing at my luck. Yeah, there goes your luck for the rest of the boat ride, I guess. Well, not gonna complain. I mutter, grabbing a bar and closing the box back up. I make my way back to my cabin, soap bar in hand, feeling a small victory. Oh no, uh-oh, uh-oh. The day's little adventure might have been a hassle, but at least I found what I needed without too much trouble. I open the door and step inside, ready to get back some semblance of normalcy. Watch, she's gonna dunk the whole bucket on him. My karma senses are starting to tingle. Before I can even set foot inside, I am greeted by a sudden, soft thud. A pillow smacks me square in the face, and I stumble back, caught completely off guard. Thought you could just splash me and get away with it, huh? She says, trying to stifle her giggles as I pull the pillow away, blinking in surprise. I shake my head, still trying to process the unexpected pillow assault. Consider it a little payback for your surprise water attack. Fair enough, I guess. I should have expected some kind of retaliation. Max gives me a playful wink as I head back over to the bucket waiting for me, feeling a mix of relief and resignation. All right. Scrub, scrub. Ugh. Not the right time for my voice to dry up. An hour later, I'm sitting in the saloon, enjoying a quiet breakfast. The rain has started up again, a soft patter against the windows that make the warm room feel even cozier. I'm eating slowly, savoring the rare moment of peace. The day's off to a weird start, but at least now I can sit back and relax. Hey, you! Or so I thought. A sharp voice cuts through the calm, and I freeze, my fork halfway to my mouth. I don't even need to look up. I know that voice. Without any invitation, he squeezes into the bench in front of me, the wood creaking under his weight. He leans forward, his elbows on the table as if he owns the place. Where's that wine I asked for? His tone is grating, dripping with entitlement. I've been waiting forever, and this ship's service is a joke. I grit my teeth, staring down at my plate, trying to ignore him. I try to focus on my food, but my appetite fades with each passing second. Taking a deep breath, I look up, trying to keep my voice steady. I'll need a bit more time to get your wine. You're really testing my patience, you know that. He leans closer, voice low but dripping with menace. I've told you once, and I'll tell you again, I want that wine now. I swallow, anxiety tightening in my chest. My hands feel cold, and the edges of the saloon blur a bit as his words sink in. He's not going to let this go, not just the wine, but the unspoken threat that hangs between us like a storm cloud. He taps his finger on the table, each click a reminder of the power he thinks he holds over me. Don't forget, I know things. Things that could make life difficult for you, for her. I freeze. The motion of Neela makes my blood run cold. He knows how important she is to me, and how hard she's worked to get here. He could stir up trouble, make accusations, and put her position at risk. My mind races, torn between my rising anxiety and my frustration at being cornered. I force myself to nod. I'll get it before noon. Good. Without another word, he leaves the table, leaving me alone. The rain outside, now a distant murmur, as the weight of his threat settles over me. A minute passes, my mind still racing, trying to shake off the rich sky's threats. Then I hear the familiar sound of Neela's boots approaching. She strides into the saloon, her usual energy following her like a breeze cutting through the stale air, not stable. Without hesitation, she plops down in front of me with her breakfast plate, her shoulders lightly bumping mine. Morning. She takes one look at my face and her expression shifts. What's up? You look like someone just kicked your dog. I try to shrug it off, managing a weak smile. It's nothing, really. I mutter, hoping she'll let it slide. But Neela, being Neela, doesn't buy it for a second. She cocks her head, narrowing her eyes like she's trying to read my mind. You're a terrible liar. She says, then takes a forkful. I glance at her briefly, forcing a smile, though I know it's not fooling anyone. Finally, after a few minutes of silence, she sighs and puts down her fork. I won't ask, but you'll have to tell me at some point. She doesn't press me, doesn't try to force anything, but there's an edge to her voice that makes it clear she's not going to let this go forever. I nod slowly, feeling the weight of her words settle on me. There's an unspoken understanding between us now. She'll wait, but not forever, and deep down, I know I owe her the truth eventually. I hate having to clear my throat after eating. It doesn't help that my throat's dry as fuck. Well, at least I got about like 40 minutes. The captain looks up from the charts, giving a quick nod before turning to Neela. Got the wheel gears oiled up. Feels way too light now, so keep an eye on it. Neela quirks an eyebrow and steps over to the wheel, testing it with her hands. And when she gives it a test spin, her face twists in disgust. Ugh, what is this? She snaps, yanking her hand back like she's touched something foul. It's like steering a toy, not a ship. She glares at the wheel like it's betrayed her, clearly put off by how unnaturally smooth it feels. I just watch her, half amused, half worried. I watch her for a moment, then, without thinking, I blurt out, "It can't be that bad, can it?" The second the word leaps in my mouth, Neela turns to look at me. Neela's eyes narrow, her expression pure fire, like I just insulted her entire bloodline. "Oh, really?" She snaps, crossing her arms, clearly daring me to say more. Meanwhile, the captain stays his usual stoic self, but there's a glint of amusement in his eyes, like he's quietly enjoying the exchange while taking things seriously. It's like she's daring me to dig myself into a deeper hole. I can almost see the fire in her eyes, like she's just waiting for me to say one more stupid thing. The tension thickens, and I suddenly realize this might not have been the best moment to speak out. Time seems to freeze. Neela's stare is like a weight pressing down on me, and I swear the room goes completely silent, save for the faint creaking of the ship. My brain kicks into overdrive, working overtime to calculate the best move. Should I apologize, joke it off, say something clever, Or just stay silent and pray Neela doesn't decide to skin me alive right here. Brain entering bullshit mode. Wait a minute. Error. Wait a minute. Why is Anon now talking with time travelers? Oh. Neela really hit Anon with the frowny face. The angry face. Man, I really don't want to call it early, but like my voice is just feeling shredded now. I just can't win. Brain entering bullshit mode. Error. Attempting to run as administrator. Error. Your Anon has run into a problem that needs to restart. He needs to stop hanging out with time travelers. Maybe it needs more oil. The silence that follows is deafening. Neela's eyes widen, and for a second, I think she might actually explode. Her lips press into a tight line, nostrils flaring, like she's trying to decide whether to laugh or murder me on the spot. Neela turns to me, her voice low and venomous. More oil? Seriously? Each word drips with incredulity. I can feel my face heating up as I realize I've just made it 100 times worse. I swallow hard, suddenly wishing I could just disappear. Instead, I quietly slide into the fixed chair by the charts, trying to look like I'm absorbed in the papers spread out before me. I focus on the scribbles and lines, pretending they're the most fascinating things in the world. But I can still feel... Wow, that's a voice crack. I told you, my fucking voice is shredded now. Well, I can still feel Neela's gaze boring into me. Working. Yep, working. The silence stretches, thick and uncomfortable, as I skim the charts without really absorbing any of it. I can sense her judging me, the tension radiating off of her like heat from a flame. You need to watch the compass and the charts at the same time. Fuck. I glance up, caught off guard. She's clearly not buying my fanged focus on the charts, and the way her eyes narrow tells me she's not letting me off easy. You can't just sit there pretending to be busy while the ship is practically floating itself. I nod, feeling sheepish. Aye, aye. I mumble, realizing I should have been more attentive, but as I glance at the compass, I can't help but feel her judgment still lingering, as if it's weighing me down. Max introduced his buddy from 2023 to Anon. Yeah, pretty much. Neela sighs, her expression softening just a fraction. Look, I'm willing to forgive your, let's call them interesting words. The more I think about it, the more I realize how stupid those words were. But you really need to go get whoever's responsible for this wheel for being so light. Her voice carries a hint of exasperation, but I can see she's not completely furious anymore. Find the engineer and get them to fix it. With wheels this easy to turn, it's not just a joke. It could put us in danger. I nod, relief flooding through me. Yeah, I could do that. I'll be back with him. I say, already feeling a bit more confident as I make my way to the door. But as I pause, a sinking feeling hits me. I turn back to Neela, scratching the back of my head. Oh, who's this? This is a new guy. He's like some kind of like bull dragon. It smells faintly like burnt oil and old tea. At the far table, a dragon with bright orange scales sits alone. Elbows on the table, a battered tin cup cradled in both hands. He glances up. Just once, golden eyes sharp and unreadable. Wait, golden eyes? Those... Oh, can I scroll back? Golden eyes. These are green, aren't they? Or am I colorblind? Or is Anon colorblind? Was colorblindness even a diagnosable thing in the 19th century? You lost? No, just passing through. He leans back slightly, expression unreadable. Well, I'm on break. That's it. No name, no gesture, no interest. His gaze slips right past me like I never existed. I'm looking for the ship's engineer. Do you know where he is? It's me. Also, the name is Vert. We find the engineer right away, huh? What do you want? Neela says the wheel feels too light. Bert doesn't react at first, just takes another slow sip of his drink like I've said something mildly annoying. Too light? Yeah, light enough that she went full snappy on me. That gets him. He sets the mug down with a dull clink and straightens up, brow furrowing hard. I told Orange to oil the steering assembly earlier. Orange. He trails off, expression turning grim. He probably used too much. Birch stands abruptly, grabbing the nearby wrench and stuffing it under his belt. His tail flicks behind him, agitated like he's already mentally tearing into his brother. Brother? He never told us anything. If there's no resistance on the wheel, she can't feel the ship. That's bad. Real bad. Yeah, she seemed not thrilled. Tell her I'm coming, and if she's holding a wrench, tell her to aim it for my ribs. I can take a hit there. He storms past me, already muttering something about his brother. I watch Vert disappear down the corridor and up the stairs, his tail still twitching with irritation. I hear every stomp on each step of the staircase, and I'm left standing alone in the common area, suddenly aware of how quiet it is. I should probably head straight back to the wheelhouse. Neela's likely still fuming, probably pacing in tight circles and showing the inside of her cheek. But then again, maybe walking in right now, empty-handed, isn't the brightest idea. I glance to the stairs. The chef's probably still in the kitchen, and maybe, just maybe, he's got something strong brewing. A cup of coffee might not fix steering issues, but it might take the edge off her. I rub the back of my neck, torn. Do I go back now and risk catching the tail end of her storm, or show up with peace offerings and a side of caffeine? I exhale through my nose, already feeling the tension of walking into a fire either way. My legs start moving before I can even make the decision clear in my own head. Guess ask the chef for advice. Better play it safe. A few passengers still linger over half-eaten plates, sipping the last of their tea and pretending the ocean outside isn't making their stomachs turn. The chef moves with practiced calm, sliding plates along the wood and topping off a chipped mug of tea. He sees me the second I walk in, his eyes narrowing slightly. Shouldn't you be at the wheelhouse, Giovannido? Neela told me to go get the engineer, said the wheel feels too light. I found Vert. He's on his way up now. I glance towards the passengers, lower my voice a notch. I came here because, well, you're her father, and she's nearly fuming about it. Figured if anyone knew how to help, it'd be you. The chef's expression hardens the way only a protective father's can. He sets down an empty plate and crosses his arms, eyes closed. Too light. Yeah, she looked 2 seconds away from biting my head off. The chef sighs. Sit. Bench won't kill you. He disappears into the kitchen. I slide into the bench without another word, the ship groaning under another wave. Somehow the storm outside feels less dangerous than what's waiting for me in the wheelhouse. I make my way to the wheelhouse, one hand gripping the mug tight so it doesn't spill. The heat seeps into my palm, and part of me wonders if this cup of coffee is the only thing keeping me brave right now. Wait, was this guy always a manlet? Was Vert really needs some verticality, I'd say. Vert is... Oh, he's crouched. Never mind. Vert is crouched low beside the helm, his claws smudged with oil. Mila stands just beside him, arms crossed, jaw tight, her tail flicking once, sharply when she hears me come in. I'm gonna have to disassemble the whole wheel. His voice is calm, too calm, like someone trying not to set off a fire alarm that's already screaming. Clean the excess, re-grease the bearings, reassemble everything from scratch. How long? She doesn't even phrase it as a question. Just that flat, cold demand. Bert rises to a full stand, wiping his hands on a rag without meeting her eyes. A day. Crack. Putain de vaisseau de merde. I don't even know. I don't know. Her tail slams into the fixed chair. The impact sends a low thud through the floor and rattles something loose in my chest. Neither of them says anything for a second. I step forward quietly, holding out the mug. I brought coffee. Just tosses it over. Neela doesn't move right away, her eyes locked on Bert like she's trying to set him on fire through sheer rage. Then without looking, she takes the mug from my hand, rough, but not cruel, and grips it tight. Thanks. One word, clipped, but she took it. That's gotta count for something. With her eyes fixed on the wheel and her shoulders still tight, Neela takes a slow sip. The only sounds in the wheelhouse for a little while are the low groan of the ship battling the waves and the muted boom of the rain hitting the glass. Should we halt the ship for now? Bert exhales through his nose and wipes another smear of oil onto the base of the wheel. Yeah, I'll go turn off the boilers. It's not safe to keep pushing forward without proper helm feedback. He doesn't wait for approval, just nods once and starts towards the door. All right. Her voice barely reaches him before he's out into the corridor. She closes her eyes for a second, like she's doing the math in her head, then lets out a long, frayed sigh. There's a deep, exasperated grunt that's masked by yet another sip of coffee that's probably not doing nearly enough to improve her day. I glance down at her hands. The mug looks like it's doing everything it can to not explode in her grip right now. The porcelain's holding, but barely. Neela lowers the mug after another long sip, the steam catching against her cheek before vanishing. Come on, there's nothing we can do here for now. She doesn't wait for an answer, just turns on her heel and walks out of the wheelhouse, tail swaying low, deliberate. I stay behind a second longer, letting the door swing half closed behind her. The rain taps harder against the windows now, the kind of rain that means you're not getting sunshine anytime soon. Curious. One hand on the wheel, one small push. It glides with ease, not dramatically, but it's smoother than I anticipated, as if the ship is just sailing through butter rather than battling steel and water. It doesn't feel like a crisis. Then again, I'm not the expert here. Those eyes are definitely green. The rain doesn't let up. It falls in sheets now, drumming against the deck and soaking through clothes in seconds. The sound of the paddles churning through the waves is a steady rhythm behind it. It's like a heartbeat that won't stop no matter how chaotic everything else gets. Neela stands at the railing near the housing for the starboard paddle. The spray from below mixing with the rain on her face, her hair is already damp. Strands clinging to the side of her jaw, she doesn't bother wiping it away. I stop a few paces behind her, unsure if I should speak. Do you still like me? I know I've been a bitch, Anon, but do you still like me? Now that you've seen almost every side of me? She doesn't turn around, doesn't even check if I'm close enough to hear her. You've seen me cry, you've seen me angry, happy, grumpy, embarrassed, frustrated, quiet, loud, and vulnerable. Her fingers tighten slightly at the edge of the rail. Murday, why am I like this? She shakes her head, more to herself than anything. Why am I so open, avec toi, with someone I've known for, what, 12 days? She exhales slowly, a cloud of warmth against the cold air. Qui n'a pas de scène? It makes no sense. Why'd they choose for this one to translate it? I watch her, quiet, soaked, barely moving. But I don't feel cold. The sky doesn't change, but the ship does. High above, the chimney coughs once, a deep mechanical exhale, and then stops. The smoke, once thick and trailing into the storm, fades into nothing. A second later, the paddles slow, the rhythm faltering, and finally stilling with a wet, tired groan. Neela doesn't move. Her hands are locked tight around the railing, knuckles gone pale against the slick metal. Rain beads off her scales, slides down her coat, clings to her fingers, but she stays rooted there, like she's afraid of what'll happen if she lets go. It makes no sense. Her voice is small now, not weak, just lost. It makes no sense. She says it again, then again, like maybe if she repeats it enough times, something inside her will snap back into place. I've never felt this kind of anything, not with anyone. Never. Jamais. Her grip tightens, her tail barely twitching behind her, limp and soaked. I've always been alone. Is this supposed to be the rooftop scene? Her words hit the air like broken glass. No drama, just truth. No one ever got me. Not really. I never cared. I thought that was normal. Just life in the sea. I liked it. I didn't need anyone. She finally looks over her shoulder, eyes meeting mine for just a breath. Then you showed up. Neela turns fully now, shoulders tense, eyes bright with something that's not quite anger, not quite fear. Her fingers slip from the railing, but they twitch like they still need to hold on to something. We. She gestures sharply towards me, her voice raising despite the rain. Rising, sorry. We shared a bed, first reading, and then just sleeping. Do you know how weird that is for me? She takes a step forward, her boots splashing through the water pooled on the deck. And you taught me to read those stupid charts, the ones I used to hate, because no one taught me how to read them. Now I actually look forward to them. We ate pizza together. I don't even like most food, but that night was... She grits her teeth. Her breath catches, but she keeps going. I showed you the last thing my mother gave me. I showed you that. She presses a hand to her chest, like the memory itself hurts. And I don't do that. I don't share. I don't open up. I don't feel like this. Her voice breaks, just for a second. And the worst part, the absolute worst part. She throws both arms out now, like she's trying to shove the truth away from her. All of it made me happy. Her voice echoes across the deck, swallowed only slightly by the storm. Why, poor Coy, why am I like this? She stands there, soaked to the bone, chest rising and falling, completely undone. Neela is breathing heavily as she stands in the rain, staring at me as if I were the only thing still standing on a ship that has suddenly seemed lost. What is it going to be? A beat. Her throat moves as she swallows, but she doesn't break eye contact. Do you really want to stay here? She says like it means more than just the ship. Like it means her life, her mess, her little world. Do you want to stay with me? Her fists curl at her sides again. Or are you going to chase some shiny new life at the next port? Start over somewhere clean, dry, simple. Rain drips from her chin, runs down the curve of her jaw, slides over her trembling hands, but her voice doesn't waver now, not this time. I need to know now because I've never been this open with someone before. She takes a step closer, her voice sharp, not angry, but urgent. I need to know what you want, not later, not when it's easy, now. Her eyes burn, not with rage, but with something far more dangerous. So I can guard my heart before it gets crushed. Oh no. Oh, I could let her down so hard. Maybe that'll be for the other parts of this route, huh? Afterwards. Oh. I don't even hesitate. I want to stay here with you. Mila is silent for a while. Despite having asked for it, she simply watches me with her mouth slightly apart, as if she wasn't prepared to hear it. Then she smiles. Not wide, not flashy, just a small, quiet curve of her lips. Soft, genuine, fragile in the way that only real emotions can be. Thank you. Her voice is barely louder than the rain. No. She finally looks at me, eyes steady now. Her wall's not gone, but set aside. Thank you, John. John Anon. John Hamofa. That's his name, John Hamofa. She doesn't move. She just stays where she is. Rain still pouring down her shoulders. That faint smile not quite fading. I open my mouth to answer, but... Achoo! My whole body jolts with a sneeze, and suddenly I remember I'm soaked, shivering, and only wearing a thin shirt while she's covered with a thick coat. Mila blinks, and then exhales a soft half laugh through her nose. Alright, we've been enough time under the rain. She turns towards the saloon, waving a hand behind her. Come on, you're going to get pneumonia, idiot. You're soaked because of me. I follow her, sniffling. Hamofa Jones. That's from what's his the Homonito streams. Rainwater trails after us like guilty footprints as we enter. Wet to the bone, my shirt sticks to me like damp paper. Anila's hair sticks to her temples as her coat drips slowly. Stepping slowly and deliberately, the chef comes out of the kitchen with his arms folded across his chest. At first, he just looks at us as if we brought a storm into his haven, and doesn't say anything. His eyes flick down to the wet floor, and then back up to us. Don't you two dare wet my floor. His tone is flat. His gaze lands squarely on me, like this is somehow my fault. Mila steps forward, tail still dripping behind her. Uncle, can you make us something hot? Just a simple soup. Doesn't matter what kind, as long as it's warm. Her voice tries to toe the line between charming and pitiful, but it's all soaked through. The chef doesn't budge, he just exhales slowly through his nose. No, I've got to think about the rest of the passengers and crew. You think I've got soup to waste on lovebirds who forget what a roof is? He turns, already making his way towards the kitchen again, still with those arms crossed like he's holding back a lecture. I can offer you tea. That's what I do have. Barely. I'm out of coffee. Mila groans, slumping slightly beside me. Even after we turned into rain-soaked corpses? Especially after that. He disappears behind the kitchen door. Achoo! The sound echoes embarrassingly loud in the quiet saloon. Neil looks over with a raised brow, still dripping herself, but far less miserable about it. You need a towel or something? I nod once, voice dead flat. Yes. She exhales through her nose in that you're hopeless kind of way, then turns towards the kitchen. I'll tell my uncle we'll go dry off before the tea. Before I could say anything further, she leaves, making her way behind the kitchen door with her boots squeezing against the wet flooring. Watch, the rich guy's gonna come in, isn't he? Fuck, I'm cold. Nope, never mind. A little later, Neela returns around the corner, wiping a damp lock of hair from her face, and there's a slight wet trail behind where she went, and her coat is still dripping. He says fine, tea'll be waiting. She looks at me, eyes flickering down my soaked shirt. I've got some towels in my cabin. I nod, grateful and still sniffling. Without another word, she heads for the door, her boots squelching softly with each step. I follow, trailing behind in like a very large, very wet dog. Oh no, it's her casual wear again. Neela shrugs off her soaked coat, the leather hitting the floor with a wet, heavy slap. Without a word, she drops to one knee beside her bunk, rummaging underneath. I stand by the door, dripping water, still clinging to my sleeve and slowly working its way down my back. She pulls out a small bundle, plain cloth, neatly folded, and tosses one towel up onto the mattress before grabbing a second. Here. She holds it out without looking at me, still focused on whatever else she's checking under the bed. I take it wordlessly, the fabric soft and dry like a miracle in this damn weather. Neela pulls herself back up, towel now draped over her shoulders. She glances at me from the corner of her eye, brow slightly raised. You got shy all of a sudden? She gestures loosely towards me with her chin. You've been standing there like a statue. What, now you're too modest to take your shirt off around me? I open my mouth, close it again. My brain tries to crank a gear. A few minutes ago, she was yelling in 2 languages, smashing chairs with her tail, confessing things that cracked me open, and now she's back to teasing me about undressing like we're just drying off from a summer swim. This is too much. I'm still holding the towel, still dripping, still mentally somewhere between emotional whiplash and cardiac arrest. You are something. I grab the hem of my shirt and start peeling it over my head, dragging the soaked fabric off with effort. My arms are caught in it for a second, my vision completely blocked. Is this where the hide the spicy images kick in? Oh, Mofa, I hardly know her. Your sub notification just perfectly covered Anon's head. Wait, what? Sub notification? Oh, someone subscribed? Shit, I didn't even hear anything. I think my subs are broken. Shit. I don't know who subscribed, but thank you. I really need to go back and fix that. I think I fucked it up, and I need to look on how to unfuck it up. I grab the hem of my shirt and start peeling it over my head, dragging the soaked fabric off with effort. My arms are caught in it for a second, my vision completely blocked. Before I can even start drying off, I feel pressure. This probably would have been the spicy image, because I seen in the screenshots of the store page, there is a shirtless version of Neela pressed against my chest, arms resting lightly at my sides, eyes wide but locked on mine. I didn't hear her move, Didn't feel her until she was already close enough for her breath to brush my neck. This is the first time I do this, so don't expect me to be an expert. Her voice is quiet, soft in a way that doesn't fit the storm outside or a broken chair, or even her earlier yelling. I open my mouth, but she's already leaning in. She tries to tilt her head, lining up their height differences, but her long snout and narrow beak nudge into my cheek instead. Wait. She shifts slightly, eyes narrowing with determination, her brow furrows. Hold on, I almost got it. She tries again, lips brushing just barely against the edge of my mouth before sliding off course. Don't move, just stay there, don't move. Her voice trembles slightly, embarrassed, frustrated, but not giving up. Her claws clench lightly against my sides for balance, and her tail flicks once behind her as she leans in for another try. Her snout bumps right into my lips, a little too forcefully, and suddenly I feel the tip of it pushing past them like she's about to shove it directly into my mouth. I jerk back instinctively, eyes wide. She freezes, her eyes darting up to mine in horror as she realizes what just happened. Neela pulls back half an inch, her hands still gripping at my sides, her face now beet red. Okay, that was definitely not how you do it. I swear I was aiming for your lips, not trying to insert my snout into your entire head. She lets out a groan, somewhere between flustered and mortified. This is so stupid. I don't know how to kiss a human. She throws up her hands, tail swishing hard behind her in frustration. I've never done this before, okay? Your mouths are small and weirdly flat. I don't have a manual for this. You what? Oh no, he followed us. He followed us. It's over. Her whole body locks up. My heart stops. The voice came right outside the door. I look at Neela. She looks at me. Her eyes wide, mouth slightly open, frozen. The doorknob rattles. I trusted you, Neela. I said I'd give you space. You looked happy. What even is this? The door busts open, its hinges barely holding the chef's rage. The chef storms in, arms spread, face red, soaked apron clinging to him like a war banner. He points directly at me like he's naming a public enemy. Ain't on! Neela is stiff as a statue, halfway between rage and fear. I swear I can hear her blink. He takes a step forward, practically vibrating. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Silence. 5. Uncle. 4. I don't even think. I just move. His eyes are like crimson red. My God. An hour later, the storm still groans outside, but it's nothing compared to the hurricane that's been tearing through the ship's corridors. I've been holding my breath in the kitchen for what feels like a century, wedged under a wood-prepped table, surrounded by crates of plates and faint smells of onions. Why the kitchen? Because if I were a furious, overprotective chef with a vengeance in his heart, the last place I'd check would be in my own kitchen. And so far, I've been right. Footsteps. Primordial one. If you save me this time, I swear I'll... John, are you here? I slowly peek my head out from under the table, towel still draped over my shoulders like a war survivor. You're alone? She turns at the sound, and when she sees me, her eyes soften instantly. Yeah, he's up on the main deck right now. I crawl out from under the table and stand up, blinking at her. Neela walks closer, rubbing her arm awkwardly, tail low. I'm so sorry about that. She looks genuinely miserable. He said he'd respect us. He said he'd trust in me. And then the second he heard something slightly romantic through the door, he went full executioner. I think I lost a sock somewhere between the engine room and the stairs. Neela leans back against the table, exhaling slowly. For what it's worth, I'd like to try again. I look over at her. The kiss. She glances at me. Neela, I think it's a little bit tone-deaf to be doing that right now. I'm running for my life. She glances at me, then quickly looks away, as if that made it any less awkward. Preferably not when my uncle is in a homicidal spiral. She gives a weak smile, somewhere between embarrassed and amused. I mean, I was close. You were almost kissed, technically, sort of, maybe. I mean, I'd like to try too. I glance towards the door, lowering my voice. But I'm starting to think your uncle might be waiting. Neela blinks. You think he's evolved from yelling to full stealth mode? He's the chef. He knows the layout. He has maps in his head. She bites her lip, shoulders shaking with laughter now, tail twitching once. Mon Dieu, you might be right. I don't want to be right. That's the worst part. The word stealth, that hits a nerve. The chef might have been the storm chasing me today, but somewhere out there, there's someone worse. Someone who's not yelling. Yeah, the rich guy. Someone who's waiting. My smile fades as the memory clicks into place like a trap. The rich guy. The blackmailing. The damn bottle of wine I still haven't delivered. I clear my throat, trying to keep my voice casual. Hey, Neela? She looks over, still grinning from the idea of her uncle crouching in flour sacks. Think I could borrow one of your wine bottles? She tilts her head, curious. You want wine? Yeah, I think I'm going to need a drink after today. I force a chuckle, even though my thoughts are already darkening. Sure. She leans her head lightly against my shoulder, eyes soft now. I'd love to share my tastes with you. Come with me. I'll give you one of my favorites. Chef is outside the window, just clinging onto the side of the boat. Making out in your uncle's place while he is hunting you. Yeah, that's a power move. When we get to her cabin, Neela opens a small chest and pulls out a bottle of wine. Here, you better enjoy this. It's from a vineyard that I like back in Draconia. I take the bottle, grateful, but feeling the weight of the lie. Thanks, I'll just go leave this in my cabin. I'll be right back. She nods, trusting my words. I slip out the door, but instead, heading to my own cabin, I move quickly and quietly to the rich guy's cabin. That's gotta suck, man. Better make this quick. When I step into the rich guy's cabin, it's quiet. Almost too quiet. The faint smell of cigar smoke lingers in the air. The room is neat, almost unnervingly so. As I glance around, I notice something odd. Only one of the bunks is being used. The other looks untouched, as if it's never been slept in. I pause for a moment, wondering. He mentioned having a wife on board, didn't he? Maybe she just sleeps with him in the same bunk, I think. Trying to make sense of it. Though something about that doesn't sit right. Still, it's not my business to dig any deeper. I leave the bottle of wine on the used bunk, then quickly slip out of the room, making sure no one saw me. Once I'm out of his cabin, I lean against the wall, taking a deep breath and letting the tension ease just a little. For now, it feels like I've dodged a bullet. I won't have to deal with him for a while, and that thought brings a flicker of relief. I let my mind settle, trying to shake off the unease that's been creeping in. I remind myself I'm just trying to keep Neela safe and focused. And it's a small price to pay for the moment of peace we might share. Nighttime. Yeah, I'll probably cut it off after the day's end. The rain hasn't stopped, but the rumble of the ship is steady again. The wheel's back in action, the paddles churn like nothing ever happened. The captain took over the helm, and by the time the wheel was operative again, I didn't have the energy to go down to the saloon, not after all that. But I was starving, so I asked Max. Yeah, the person who I just sprayed water on. God, those are eyes that look like they've seen death, dude. That's like the 1,000-mile stare. It's like that Damien picture, man. Max enters the cabin through the open door while holding a dish in one hand. She appears anxious. No, she appears mortified, dude. Okay, seriously, what did you do? Oh, what? She shuts the door with her tail. When I told the chef I was bringing dinner to you, he nearly vaporized me with his eyes. What is that mouth? Dude, what is that mouth? Lizard people should not have lips. My god. It's becoming more uncanny. Max is literally like morphing into like a weird being. She puts the plate down on the night table, raising an eyebrow. I thought I was going to get cooked and served instead. Yeah, that's fair. So what? What did you do? I stare at the plate for a moment, then at her, then back at the plate. Yes. Yes, what? We're not even gonna explain ourselves. Okay. What? That was so anticlimactic, man. Couldn't even tell her anything. Back to the main menu, man. My goodness. Yes, was waiting for the next part of this. You got me interested in this game. Well, you're gonna have to watch the VOD. Because I put in my 3 hours. Turns out the rich guy is a stowaway, or the guy that did everything wrong before going. I thought that was a tongue for a second. No, that looked like lower lips, man. You don't put lips on scaly creatures, man. It doesn't look right. It never looks right. Especially like lipstick, man. No, don't. Don't do it. Max, because of her exposure to time anomalies, becomes the Dragonborn. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that's getting good. It's getting chaotic. Things are actually happening, except instead of just being bored, driving a ship, you know. But yeah, it does reek of like AI-ism in a lot of places, especially when it's just driving the boat. Oh, I'm really hoping the other routes don't feel as stale, you know. But then again, when you're piloting the ship, there's really not much you can do with it, you know. Man of Medan, but actually good. Well, we'll see what happens with other routes for sure. I'm thinking we're getting pretty close. We got like one more week to go through. I'm pretty sure. What day did we start on? Was it like a Monday? I forget. But anyways, I'm gonna hop off. We'll shoot for next Wednesday for this. Monday will be the other Dino demo game, I guess. I hear it's super short, so who knows. We'll figure something out. I'm gonna go get ready for bed, so I'll see you guys later.